Kahunas.
That's interesting. Oh, there we are. Like for a second there, I'm like, that doesn't look like Sean and I.
Big shoes to fill.
A little confused. But so like Joe just said, and welcome back everybody. Well, you haven't gone anywhere. Well, we're back, I suppose. Joe doesn't really dislike Seinfeld. That just means you got tired of it.
I think he said he
did. No, but tired of it because you saw, like, because of what your boys did, like watching too many episodes at once, and you got like you got to appreciate the show for what it is. Like watch, one at a time here and there. I'm one of those. It's just a fantastic show. So there's a lot going on this afternoon, and we're gonna get to some of the imbalances. Spoiler alert: they're already sizable because it's triple witching. The market has been absolutely blasting. Palantir's now up 6%. That's the big addition. When the market pulled back, it continued back toward the highs. So I know a lot of people are going to be looking and watching that. Tesla is, oddly enough, it might go red again.
Ooh.
It's not there yet, but it's very close. It's pulled back and it might go red. So obviously Palantir is going to be on watch. Bitcoin couldn't get to 98,000. SMCI, MSTR, and I always forget. Moderna's the other one worth watching. But there's some other big names that we could expect imbalances on. Apollo would be, I think Apollo is notionally the biggest expected move that we're going to see. But yeah, it should be a fun one. I'm in two things, one of which was from the morning, and then the other was from the afternoon. Refrain and Intel. I've literally only taken one setup since midday. Mean reversion setups, and on everything except for things like Palantir, because that's a rocket ship. I might take something going into the close, but it would have to be one of the big four, or I'd probably just sit it out.
Hey everybody. Yeah, no, we're waiting. Or not waiting. I have Palantir up on the screen here. Up 6%. I almost logged in and took some out.
No.
Nah, we did it. We almost did. Okay. No,
I saw you pull out the phone though. So
yeah. No, I was like, nah. Okay. So here we go. We're on the same stock, and it feels real good today. There's 122. This is pretty much exactly the spot that we had labeled out here. We had said 120 to 122. Our average shorting here, 120, 150, 122 and change. Huge move to the downside. It's the only position I'm in right now. I like the stock downside right here for AMD. We'll just see if we can continue that kind of push. Shout out to everybody here in the chat again. So, yeah, look, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Good days ahead here. We do have those rebalances coming through. We do have the witching. It's been a big week. AMD, look at this daily chart here, straight to the downside. Let's go shopping and find out what else is moving around, right? We are going to have the rundown. Thank you so much for supporting that segment as well. All you guys do is to support everything that we're doing. So we really want to thank that and wish everybody happy holidays out there. We're here all next week. The only day it's half day on. It's half day on Christmas Eve is a half day? I can't remember.
No, Christmas Eve is the half day.
Is the half day, right. The Christmas Day is completely off.
And then New Year's is a full day.
Yeah,
New Year's Eve is a full day.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
I think that's always been that way.
I know, but I always
Friday.
feel like that's weird. Like, to me...
There's some rule. Yeah.
Yeah, but to me, New Year's Eve would make a ton of sense for it to be a half day. Like, the second half of that day is so... so slow. Trust me, we're going to have a lot of fun because there might be, there may or may not be a beverage in that afternoon.
The market should just be half days anyways. Realistically, the market could close every day at 1 o'clock. You just bump up where the numbers are. It's earnings come right after.
Before
What's the difference?
Should be.
Every day.
Well, I don't know about that.
Why?
It's fun.
What? No, it's fun. I agree, but pack it in. Then you get to go. You spend more time with family.
Well, obviously that would be nice.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think it's better. Actually,
you know what? I'm a big fan of.
Look, if you're a single guy, you want the market to end earlier. The hell, get that party started.
You want it to end earlier too. But wouldn't
you? Just a win-win idea over here, my guy.
I actually am a big fan of this notion of the longer day, 4-day work week. I think that is a cool concept. Like imagine, I'm not talking
about chopping.
I'm not talking about the market. I'm just talking about in general, that whole notion of if it's a 10, I would have no issues with 10, 11, and then you work same hours.
Right. So 10 over 4 instead of 8 over 5.
Yeah, something along those lines. Actually, I think that makes some sense. And when you have a family, you already have to have daycare, after school. If you're doing that stuff anyways, you might as well only have to do it 4 times. But that's neither here nor there.
And they're going the other way. I mean, they're doing all.
Yeah, they're going. Everything goes
all
in the
hours,
other
all
direction.
hours trading. They're not. The last thing they're doing is cutting the hours, man. These exchanges got to make those fees. You know, they got to.
You got to keep
getting those
eat,
ticket
man.
fees. I mean, you know how many fills I have today? I have 200 trades today.
They got to eat. I mean, Mr. Mendel's going to have to eat when Moon comes in there for the overnight. They got to eat too. So
yeah, well, Mr. Mendel is. Yeah, we're going to have to go out to another lunch one again one of those days here. The next time was Sharif. We'll bring Sharif in.
Well, next time we just go earlier.
No, we go after. We do dinner. Like, why are we doing it for? Oh man, this guy's too important to Jeff Mendel. I got to get Jeff Mendel.
No, we didn't because he had plans that evening.
Yeah, he's too important of a guy. That's what I'm saying. We got to get this guy.
We were like the second.
He's got to clear his schedule. You know, it should be the other way around.
What's going on?
Jeff Mendel.
It's getting hot in here. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Usually,
it's pretty nice
cold.
outside. It's not bad. Slight little.
That means the snow's melting then.
No, like it's nice like that. It's like zero. It's like I don't know what it is off the. Here, I'm gonna check my watch. -2.
That's not bad.
So it's like
that's not that.
Yeah, it's like 28 Fahrenheit or so. Maybe less. Is about right? That's about right. Okay. Sharif, what do you want to talk about?
You might have to round it, but that's exactly right.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone. The show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, you heard them. They're locked, they're loaded. They're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. So make sure to join Joe and I during the How to Trade show during the midday and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But you've got to be a sub in order to get into the chat, so make sure you like and subscribe the video. Let's have a look at the major averages first. As you see on your screen there, the triple Qs up 1 1/3. It's the same look today for the ES and the NQ, so whether you're looking at the triple Qs or the SPY, they're all up 1 1/3. The Dow outperforming all the 4 major averages today, up 1.4, and the Russell 2000 up 1 1/5. So good look for all the major averages after the big sell-off over the last 2 days. NVIDIA, the first ticker, as decided by you guys, up nicely 2 2/3%. Tried to take that 135. Wasn't really able to hang out above. There was this headline, NVIDIA secures EU approval for the Run AI deal, the US probing China export breach, as we heard that some NVIDIA and Taiwan semiconductor chips ended up in the hands of Chinese manufacturers, guys.
So, by the way, Tesla did go red. I was like, oh, Tesla might go red in a couple minutes.
Tesla just tanked, like,
yeah, it's tanking.
Very good.
I know we're going to get to
story,
it, but
of course.
Okay, it
You
is.
guys can't plan a little bit better.
All right,
You can't
never
talk about
mind.
Tesla right now.
We'll get to it in a second. NVIDIA, this is what barcoding kind of looks like. I just want to double check. NVIDIA was, I mean, at the close today, I think most of the big cap techs are sells, and NVIDIA was as well. But it's a strong day for NVDA. There you go. I didn't trade. It's weird. I didn't trade it. The only chip names I traded, Marvel from yesterday. We repeated that one. We're in Intel, and then I had one reversion on AMD. And what the frustrating thing was with NVIDIA, I was like, oh, we got a double bottom at 127, and really thought we'd have a chance at that. You know, and especially at the open, like you have to keep the context of what was going on. Like at the open, this stock was falling. Like, okay, we're reverting the move. We came from 127. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. And then, whoa, wait a minute. And then you saw what happened. And the reason why, like the lesson of the day, I was like, well, what happens when things trend without any kind of a normal traditional setup for you? Well, you have to sort of look for something a bit different. Like nothing set up for me on the 3-minute chart, but what you could have had, obviously on a 15-minute, you can see a possibility off of yesterday's resistance. Just keep in mind, we always say all bets are off and when the imbalances come out. I think you want to be very nimble in the last 30 minutes on any big cap tech name or anything that we say has an expected move on it. We'll let you guys know what the early looks are, but you don't get an early look on the NASDAQ names. So for NVIDIAs and all those ones, you're not going to know until 350. I think this is clearly relatively strong at this point because as you're seeing it bounce, we just showed Tesla into VWAP. Look at this go sideways on NVIDIA. Sideways while this is still going up. So for now, it's relatively strong, but it's an expected sell imbalance on NVIDIA. There's not going to be another chance to talk about the chips. At Intel once, twice, 3 times on, and it's still not even getting to VWAP. So like, this is the thing, like it catches a big bid off of 19.5. We shorted off of yesterday's high. well, we shorted off of this high, then we shorted off of yesterday's high and got the reversion eventually, but it won't even follow through into VWAP. So unfortunately, the one we waited for and picked on doesn't get the big follow through yet. But NVIDIA, I'd favor longs at least up until close to 330, and then I would not want to play against the direction of any imbalance. And it's just not my cup of tea, even if it ends up working out.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't look at NVIDIA today because I was super hyper-focused on AMD, and we had written it down right here, AMD between 120 to 122. So I didn't really get an opportunity, and since then, here it is here, and then here it is now. And this is what we're doing with AMD. Some people were asking about targets and stuff like that. I mean, this is shorting here, bring it all the way back. Short, like there's no stop outs anywhere. There's 122. We were really aggressive with how many shares we put on here. So it's been a real blast to do this. And we already, so like first target, if you can't guess, is the 50-period moving average. We litter that thing. Then it comes down, and we're like, let's hold it. So we get something out at 120.65. That's $1.20. Then right there is $1.40 at the 200 period. Then we're just like, okay, let's take VWAP, and then that's $2. That's I guess $2. That's 180, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All the way back in, falls back in just a little bit. So we're pretty light on it now. We'll have like, between 5 to 10%. So nothing really to talk about now with AMD, but I really do like that short. And we just play the short game. Look what this looks like on the daily chart. Let's not try to like reinvent the wheel here by any stretch, right? Let's just keep going short on weak names. I don't care what it's up today. We waited for it to make its move, and it did it right into our lap, right at 122. So, we liked it. Very, very patient. You get the big wick there on volume. So nice trade to the upside, and boom, right back in. So great trading there on AMD. It's P&L number one, 50x. So it is what it is.
A little green, a little red. Right now, let's have a look. It's up 0.08%. Tried to go green. We'll keep an eye on it. This headline came in earlier. The TSA announced earlier Tesla were calling a number of vehicles a Cybertruck, as well as a 2017 to 2025 Model 3 and 2020 to 2025 Model Ys for a TPMS warning light. It's an over-the-air update. No owners should be notified vis-a-vis a letter mailed by February 15, 2025. But you've got to love how they call these over-the-air updates recalls, guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard to change, when you have like long-standing traditions and whatever, and it's like bureaucracies that do this sort of thing. Like they have their nomenclature, and they're not going to be able to adjust. Or it's not that they're not able to adjust; they're just not going to adjust very quickly. So at this point, I kind of stopped complaining about that whole thing. We know they're not physically recalling vehicles,
right.
And the thing about Tesla, it ended up being an over/under at 420. It was just all over. And yesterday, you saw what it did for the double bottom. I came in bearish saying, if it falls through $420, it had already made the reversion on the daily. I think we all saw that. That's weird. I can't drag that one over. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It already made that reversion. And the potential under 420, obviously, if we fail, I was looking for, and we were talking this morning, it's like, 400's in play, 385's in play, if it does a continuation. So when it fails an all-time high, it was a simple look for the continuation look. And then the only other place I played it was in front of the prior close, that 435 area. But what I'm happy about though is waited to take it at the spots that I wanted. I look at how Tesla, because Tesla, if you think about it, for a lot of people, if you're monitoring, Tesla probably had some of the best trading opportunities this month. So when I look back, okay, well, that L, 1/7 of our best Tesla day, 1/4 of our second best Tesla day. So we had it dead wrong. I probably could have got into this one more time because there was one setup after this double bottom where it showed you a clean trend line. So if there's a mistake, it was when it double bottomed and then traded into the high, that was a very clean mean reversion trade. At the time, I was like, I'm kind of done trying to fight this one. And this ends up being pretty clean on Tesla. But that's the setup that gives you your entry. You're probably in somewhere 444.25. Your out is here. It's 445.5, so like $1.30 plus slippage. Call it $1.50. VWAPs, it's like $10 lower. So if you can't make that work, I mean, it's a good setup. This one, you wouldn't be giving it back to the high of the day. So that was the missed opportunity on Tesla. But the other ones, we're able to get away from it when it wasn't going. And both times, I actually could have been more aggressive scalping that. Like this one here, like, yeah, okay, fine. Like I could have scalped it for $1 on that trade and it wouldn't have been so bad. But at the end of the day, kept it in the pocket. And Tesla, like most, is an expected sell at the close, that's the Mag 7. I think it's like Amazon's the only one that's supposed to be a buy at the close.
All right, we were just in and out of Tesla. We kept it very, very simple. We weren't really trading it too much there. The trade was 430 to the long side. On our sticky note, we wrote down that we like the 430 short. And then that's, we were writing it when basically down here. There's the pop-up from PCE, of course. We talked about that came out. And then all of a sudden, it just kept going. The best play, you have to know that it's here. It's tough to predict the future. Is going long once you break sort of that pre-market top, which right there was 430, 150. So that would have been right into there. That was just a keystroke in and out because I was trying to set these orders up and I put the wrong prices. So that was no money there. We actually made money. And then right into here is where we started shorting, 430, 450, 435, out 436. So, again, I know it's going to be, Neil just mentioning there, red stock. This will be a red stock for me today, but it's like a tenth of what we made on AMD. So we'll smile for a while. So, all right, back over to Sharif.
IBIT next, guys. Marginally green on the day. I mean, it's up 1%, but you can continue to see we're still putting in lower lows and lower highs here on the 15. We'll have a look at MicroStrategies as well. Really strong day today for MicroStrategies. Up about 9 1/5 right now. Looking at taking out those highs. MicroStrategies, nice recovery, still below yesterday's high. And Bitcoin, we're still well south of that $100,000 area. Sorry about that. Looks like we're trading at about 97.
There we go. And look, obviously Bitcoin's going to be a hot topic for everybody. We saw it wasn't really a flash crash, but it was into the flash crash-ish level. And I hesitate to call that drop to 92 back on the 5th a flash crash. I remember it. It was obvious what ended up happening in here, but you made a double bottom, and then we came right into the resistance at 90. At 98. So it was essentially just a V-shaped recovery and from one technical spot, bottom, into a technical top. I did trade Mara, and we'll get to that in a quick little second, or I can start it, but we got to take care of a little bit of business. Why? Because Trade the Pool allows traders like you to get evaluated and trade real shares using the company's capital with no PDT rule holding you back. Trade the Pool has just launched a limited edition program for a one-time fee of just $300. You'll receive $80,000 in buying power and the chance to become a funded trader. Hit a profit target of just 4% and you'll start trading with the company's capital. Get funded faster and easier with the new conditions designed for success. And the best part is the profit split has been upgraded to a generous 70%, so you keep more of what you earn. Don't wait. Check it out now and see how Trade the Pool can help you trade bigger and better. Scan the QR code, check the link in the description of this video. I'm going to go back over, we're just talking Bitcoin. Here's IBIT for you. Also remember, MSTR is being added to the NASDAQ 100 at the close today. So I would strongly suspect that is going to have a little bit of volatility going into the close. Regardless of what happens in Bitcoin, there is a good chance that MSTR will do whatever it wants to do in the last 10 minutes. Bitcoin could tank, and MSTR could be a buy, and it could fly. Just understand that those correlations are all irrelevant come the close. Mara was the one stock. Now, ultimately, on a down day, I made money since 11 o'clock. However, I probably could have gone back to Mara instead of focusing on Intel, back with Intel and Rivian. Fair enough. But at the same time, there was something distinctly different about Mara, and there is something distinctly different about the miners versus Bitcoin. And when you look at Mara, it never closed, it never broke the high. Was it like yesterday? Of course it wasn't like yesterday. Like yesterday, you just sold every single pop on Mara and you couldn't have lost. Today, it was trending up all morning long, and even the reversion just comes right back to the mean. So we're scalping out, ultimately allowing it not to be, given how heavily I was trading it, like it could have been my worst stock if we weren't actually getting some wins on it. But at the end of the day, I think that you got to consider these are very different. When I say these, the Riots and the Maras of the world are very different from what you're seeing happen in Bitcoin in general. Like these are hanging out on some recent lows on a steep pullback when you're chilling out at highs in Bitcoin. So let's try to respect, what vehicle you decide to trade does matter, and you want to try to short relatively strong, weak stocks, and you want to try to go long relatively strong stocks.
All right. I was just sort of laughing there. Like I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna go long on Palantir, and then it's just like, all right, So now we're long at 17s. Get a fill at 30s. Goes up to 42. I was at 45. So we'll see where we can go now on PLTR. How about to the moon? How does that sound? Right now. All right. So we'll just we'll wait here and see where this goes. I have no idea. All right. But what the plan of action is on a stock like this? We're talking about IBIT. Look, all right, last night I went long 94,000, all right? And now it's at 97.5. Hopefully it gets back higher. My next buy is 85,000. I still like the stock. I think crypto works from here. We talked about the reserve and where it goes. I'll do that in a minute. I just want to talk about this because we may get stopped out. So the 50-period moving average, I just want to give it to that. If it breaks below, fine. Like, I don't want to put a lot of risk into this. We know that there's going to be the rebalance coming at the end of the day on Palantir. So you see, like, it just went down in, gets right back, bought right back up. So I'm going to sit there to see if I can piece it out slowly. Probably won't have that much on in a half hour if it keeps going. But my next out is at 45. If it wants to keep going higher, then that's fine. No real target, just trying to play momentum, trying to just show this is what trading is all about. This is what I'm doing. Momentum, simple stuff. It's created all these opportunities, and we're just going to kind of keep doing the same thing here. So Palantir long. Crypto, the reason why we went long Bitcoin, I just kind of woke up and saw the order filled. And we had, we knew that there was going to be some volatility here in the name, obviously off the Fed, right? We sort of highlighted what Bitcoin can do. Generally on a rate cut, Bitcoin is very bullish, but then the cut was followed by an increased percentage that we are not going to get any more follow through on the rate cuts and have a pause there in January. So that sent crypto and some of the technology names a little bit lower, right? So we saw quantum get hit, then battle right back. I just kind of like, as far as picking levels and stuff like that, it was 94, 150. I was just looking down here at 94,000. Like there goes, by the way, 30 cents now in the money on Palantir. I just looked over here and just found support and resistance. Same way we're just sticking out, same thing we trade, same thing we do all day. So there it was. We went long there. Now it's starting to go back up to the upside. I am starting to get bullish on it. To me, it has to break. We talked about this. The 200-period moving average was at 98,000. So that's a target there for the longs. If you were scalping out, I think you can get to that and be pretty happy. All right, so there goes Palantir. We get the 45 days high right there. We just put it on. There's 20 cents right back at you, Palantir, climbing up that ladder.
Great day for Lucid today, Sean. Up 17 1/3%. Surprisingly, no catalyst. The only thing I could find was strength in the EV sector in general, saving except for Tesla, which seems to be flat at the moment. 17 1/3. I was looking at this on the daily as well. It looks like it's putting in a bit of a higher low, higher high pattern, guys. What's your look on Lucid?
Just one quick thing before we get to Lucid. There was a big volume spike on ARM and Qualcomm just now. The U.S. jury's deadlocked on one of the questions in ARM's lawsuit against Qualcomm. So if you're wondering why the large volume spike, right back in on both names. ARM went up and slammed right back down. Qualcomm had a similar one, but just in the other direction. So keep in mind this little lawsuit that they have is ongoing. You want to keep your ear to the ground if you happen to be trading either one of those two names. Didn't trade Lucid. Rivian, Guess were in it, but not Lucid today. And it's a bit of a misnomer to say that Tesla isn't strong. I get it. It's flat on the day, but you have to remember Tesla, when we sat down, was 5% down. So you got to give it some due that it has been a strong day on Tesla while it is overall flat. It feels like you're just getting a relief rally on a lot of these high risk names. They dumped. Lucid, remember, has a decent sized short float. And if you actually zoom this one out, it just crossed a 200-period moving average. It's actually making a bit of a rounded bottom here and starting to form an uptrend on Lucid, at least on the daily. Like we had this drawn. Not that I like Lucid. Probably would have swung if I actually liked it, but it broke a trend line that was going on for the last quarter, and now you're getting a nice little move squeezing through the 200-period moving average. Not much going on at that top. The one I'm in is similar, I suppose. But the difference is, like, Rivian made its high at like 11.20. It's not at VWAP, but it's been sort of sliding back, whereas Lucid, to its credit, up 17% and just chilling out right along the highs of the day. So Lucid is an incredibly strong name worth watching. Not one I'm trading. I wouldn't try to fade it. It doesn't really have any kind of a setup going. Like when it broke this trend, that's a setup, and then that's already been reverted. So I don't really see much of anything here on Lucid. I think it's just a squeeze today.
You better get better. You better get ready to go back. There's not have much to say. All right, there's Palantir right now. Palantir just continues, man. We got it once and twice right off those levels, still going up to 79.60. Nice move up there for Palantir. I know we just didn't talk too much about macro reasons for Lucid. I don't know too much. Not sure exactly what the short float is on this thing, but a nice move to the high side there. I would always say, like, just be careful. You know, like Rivian is fine, I think, anyways. But yeah, I mean, playing anything off the bottom looks to be pretty good. Up against the 200 period moving average, I say you sell all these pops. But what do I know? I mean, in this rate environment right now, if they're going to pause, I guess that's going to be, I don't know. I always thought for car companies, you know, lower rates would be a little bit better. But I mean, anyone buying Lucid is probably not financing them. And I don't even know if anybody's buying them anyways. So I'd rather just pass on all that comment. We just made, like Palantir is just ripped up there. So we're going to look at names that actually have some index action and things like that. But Palantir, good name, or Lucid, good name. I would just say, yeah, watch out for this 50 period, $2.50. So that would be another level there. I have to do a little more work on Lucid. We never talk about it, man. We know the story with Rivian. We know it with Tesla.
It's a big shortfall. 31.
31% short.
31%.
I don't even know the story today, up 17.
There isn't a story that I'm aware of. I looked. There's nothing happening. I think it's
right, so there has to be something happening. Up 18% and not.
Probably got to check Twitter or something, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like there's more to this. But okay, let's go talk about Nike.
Yeah, they reported after the bell, Sean. So they beat, obviously, in the current quarter. It was the guide that was the problem. They continue to have to eke out positive EPS as a result of cost cutting rather than growth in their main business. So initially did pop, guys, basically flat right now. I believe it is down 0.69%.
69%, okay.
Yeah, so this is another name where, you know, sometimes, and I do this on my quote board, I like to, if I'm tracking stocks on the quote board, I always want to have not just, hey, what's the stock up today? Because that's going to anchor you to the prior close. Like, what's it doing today? Because as much as Nike is down 0.062%, if you're day trading the stock, it's up. Like, this is, like, it opened, like at 920 it was at 73, but then it opened at 74. And it got up to 78, and it's holding above VWAP. So really, this has been a nice recovery type day for Nike. Now, clearly, if you got punked in the aftermarket, that's unfortunate. Like it is, like it was flying in the aftermarket, and there wasn't a lot of great news as to why it was happening, and it went right into this 200 period and just ended up flushing back. The other thing to keep in mind is there's been a swath of selling at $79 on this stock, and it never really had a chance to get into that zone in the open market. Like, it doesn't matter that much in the aftermarket. You want to see, are there buyers to get it through this level when the market is open? Because tons of selling at that 79 level for the last month or so, and that's what it needs to chew back through. The 200 period is the gold zone. The second Nike can actually close above the 200 period, then I think you've got a recovery. Because the entirety of the year, it's respected the 200 period moving average. Whole year. Wait for it to actually close above. I mean, short sellers are just making bank probably out in front of that 200 period moving average. So there's no point, unless you're long at the bottom, wait for it to break.
Okay, so just a quick little update here. We did get out right there of AMD. So AMD just came right back into VWAP. Someone asked me what the target was. It's always VWAP, right? And then if you're able to get some out, that's fine. We took some out at the 50 period as well. That's why we're using these lines. So we're down now. We're getting less and less on it. We still have enough to make some money if it goes. So my next couple bids are much lower. 119.75, sort of where we've already been at, and then lower than that. And we'll see if we can get anything, into that downside right there. Yeah, Nike, good trading today, obviously, because it was post earnings, but they beat on the top line and the bottom line. So higher EPS, better sales, but revenue's still down. So it's like, it was kind of like one of those kitchen sink quarters. So we do expect more from Nike. I already said that I thought that the bottom was in on that name, and that's when we were down 4%. So it's nice to get that all back right there. So if you're doing trade the pool, there's your 4% right there off the open. Nice move right back into the nice top, even higher than where we've been now, 77 and change. I like what they're doing, trying to get rid of that inventory that they're sitting on, to start to get back to grassroots sports, and they have that Elliott Hill that's been with the company 20-something years. So I like CEO change, and it should be good. Although remember, the bump's already been there when they got the CEO. This is just his first quarter, so we'll wait to see if we can get back to the upside. And man, you guys are here hopefully for winning trades. And today we just put on Palantir, and right now, man, it is starting to go. So another move right to the high side again for PLTR. We're out of half of this trade right now, but like I said, like if this goes to the upside, I don't know where we'd be in once we get near the close. But for right now, out of half already, good little move to the upside as we just start to top out some of the day right now. A name that I've liked, if we're going to talk more about themes and maybe some longer term thinking here. What's up, Sebastian? We're here for you as well. All right, so I like DraftKings, and we talked about sort of the first mover advantage, how if you can invest in gambling and it's going to be legal. I don't even think it's in California yet, legalized there. You guys in California tell me. So that's a huge market. There's a couple markets that they still need to be unlocked. So at the end of the day, I really like this. So if this is going to come down based on valuation and stuff like that, I'm fine with that. I want to pick it up as a technology play as well. I mean, it's an app. It's all about that. It's kind of like in that new world of finance. You know, people depositing, using PayPal, things like that, getting easy access to capital right now. Once you're on to an app, I mean, FanDuel is another way to invest, but down to the 200 period moving average and in and around these areas, it's too bad it's not at 38 anymore, but these are good levels. Feel like we're going to look back and say, why don't we buy some more DraftKings? That's DraftKings down about 15% in total right there. Still down 10 plus from the highs just a week and a half ago. So I like DKNG over here.
Not legal.
Our positions are not legal, right? Exactly.
Well, I'm reading the chat.
Yeah. No, it's not.
I didn't know
I know it's not. I know it's not in California. I just wasn't sure about where else. Palantir is still going, by the way. So let's diamond hands this and see what we can do now. Newest position put on, obviously. AMD is going to be the banger of the day, but this Palantir is looking special as well. All right, Adara, what's up?
Couple things to note here. For one, I just have the market pulled up here. U.S. House Speaker Johnson saying that they've come to a, quote, unified agreement, so there will not be a government shutdown. So that is one update I want to provide. Also, I looked into Lucid a little bit here on social media. I am not seeing any news on this. Decent amount of social media attention and some people suggesting a short squeeze. So it seems like this is a really retail and social media driven move up. And again, it does have that 31.12% short float. And then last but not least, I want to bring up CCL because I'm just seeing a volume spike on this one here on the scanners. This is a 15-minute chart. Lots of candles here making new day highs above 27. So CCL here, Carnival Cruise, with a 6.71% short float, certainly on watch, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, CCL just broke through resistance on the 15. Oh, the chart's not going to load. I'll go to the black chart. It just broke through that big 27 level that we're looking at this morning. I was going to mention MSTR doing its first pullback. Remember, they're going into the index tonight, but it just broke prior high here on CCL. They reported in the AM. It was somewhat of a nothing burger, I want to say. Like it didn't really fly. I think 4% off the initial move. But now that you're breaking above that prior low, it's already done one dip. It's on trend. We're waiting for 27 to go this morning. It obviously didn't happen for us. So I do like some CCL. We've already shown you on the black chart. So there it is. There's your break. Look for the consolidation in a prior high. MSTR is giving its first dip on this last, it entered twice, on this last move up. So remember, it's up 10%. I know Bitcoin is strong. It's stronger. It's, like I said, being added to the index. I think this one has an obvious opportunity to go squeezing. It's not even at yesterday's top, which sits at $3.68. So like $8 from here, you get a little bit of resistance, I suppose, at yesterday's highs. Well, on the 15-minute, I think you obviously got to give it some room to breathe. This would be that consolidation candle, the one that we weren't looking at on things like Apple before, where this is the candle here in the 15-minute, where if it can hold 360, want to look for the long, and there's room into that 367. I just heard Sharif say Apple's going back to the highs. super strong name, Apple. But MSTR could do something crazy at the close here today. It's in the same bucket as Palantir. Obviously a wider spread, so I'm going to play with a little bit more patience because I think you have to give this one a couple dollars when you get your entry. And the last high was $357. It's $5 from that $357 level. So I'd like to see it show up and set up a trade-off at $360 instead.
What a great opportunity it's been today to trade some of these more volatile names. I was talking with Chow there and the Algo team, and he's like, what a great couple days it's been. And I was like, yeah, we talked about it. Like this year, just for day trading, for volatility, has been pretty good. I mean, earnings plays have been pretty good. Trending the Mag 7 has been pretty good. It's been very, very sector specific, of course, as the NASDAQ just hit all-time highs a couple days ago, obviously, as we know. But there's been a couple like the healthcare, XLV. There's been a couple of names and whatnot that have been in trouble. And, this is one of them here, getting to the downside, the healthcare indexes. We talked about XLE and whatnot. Like, you're nowhere near. Forget about this is daily chart. Like, forget about what just happened 2 days ago with the Fed, right? You are already down quite huge from there. We talked about XLE earlier with energy and whatnot. So there's going to be opportunities here to pick up some of these names on depressed valuations. Something like BRK.B, that's, I believe, a New York name, or is that a NASDAQ name? New York, yeah, I hope it loads up here. Again, a name here with some insurance exposure to it, right? I know it's banks and everything like that, but some nice move down here as well, back down, right? UNH, another big one there in this. So,
have a good one.
All right, hold on a second. So some news about X. They're just reviewing the tie-up. Just trying to listen. Oh, White House is just denying that they don't have any undue influence on this deal. I'm not even sure Joe Biden. I mean, we heard Trump talking a little bit about it, and then Biden
They're kind of both against it.
I think Kamala was saying. I don't know. I don't remember too much about this, but you could see the daily chart says it all. I mean, I don't want to. Last thing I'm going to do is comment on this kind of a deal because it looks like it's already fallen through. So there's definitely something here. If you come over, Ramin, just quickly, just to show you guys this. Like, there must be already something with this deal. So it's already falling back in right now.
And it's like a $50-something deal. It's like,
yeah,
it's 50. Hold on, let me.
Okay, well, 50-something. I mean, now you're at 30-something,
right.
maybe 29-something in a matter of time.
$55.
Oh, yeah, so something's up with that. And again, I don't think, Donald Trump was building on, Make America Great Again and Build Back Better and all that. Was that Build Back Better? Was that him or Joe Biden now? I don't even know. But at the end of the day, U.S. steel maybe remains U.S.
Wasn't
for now.
Biden? No, but Biden called his the Inflation Reduction Act.
Oh, the Inflation Reduction Act.
Which is amazing because
Inflation kind of got reduced.
The government spending a bunch of money that they don't have to reduce inflation.
Yeah.
So how do they get that money? Oh, that's right. They borrow it. And somebody creates it out of thin air, increasing the money supply.
Yes.
And then it goes out and gets spent, the new money out of nowhere, and that's somehow supposed to be deflationary. You know what's crazy is things like that, I shouldn't have even bothered getting an economics degree because clearly.
Well, plus you're trading, you also don't need an economics.
No, you don't. But it's just the fact that they call it the Inflation Reduction Act. And I know they do that with bills. I get it. Whatever. Not to whack.
Hey, Fabian, your neck's still cranked out over there.
Yeah, I feel bad.
No, but all of a sudden I got I felt like you passed it over here. I don't know. I all of a sudden got a little. Yeah, that's right. My empathy is very strong. Yeah, that is right. Yeah, now all of a sudden I'm feeling it for you there. All right. So, anyways, MSTR up 11%.
It's still going. It reminds me of what Palantir and What's wrong with this chart? What Palantir and MSTR have done today is similar to what Tesla did the day it went into the S&P 500. That said, when Tesla went into the S&P 500, it was not 10x bigger of a notional addition. It was significantly more. It was the biggest addition to a major index in my lifetime. Not lifetime, my lifetime trading. I can't speak for anything, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the biggest ones, the biggest market events you ever saw. There's something else I was going to mention. It'll come to me in a quick little second. No, it was related to U.S. Steel. That deal, it's been dead in the water. The only person that didn't come out and say that I thought specifically against it was Kamala. I didn't hear any. Trump said she's against it. He's against it, and Biden said he's against it. U.S. Steel.
Hey, deal. Breaking news is what I'm being told.
Short U.S. Steel?
I don't know. What
happened?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is. Oh. Yes, it is. It is U.S. Steel. Just to kind of clarify that story here, we do have Nippon Steel saying that the White House basically has had undue influence over this deal or the merger review, which again would be valued at just under $15 billion. And they have threatened legal action if Biden does decide to block the deal amid some national security concerns and union opposition. So again, just in case you missed it there, Nippon Steel basically saying that they do threaten legal action if the opposite or if their merger with X is blocked. Back to you guys.
I meant to show those imbalances. Yeah, that's hilarious. You're gonna so Nippon Steel is gonna do legal action against what? Against where? The administration, the White House? Yeah, that's gonna be hilarious. Do have legal action against the White House when Trump is sitting there? We'll see how well that goes over. You're still on MSTR.
You can't actually make this one up, but right now the biggest early look imbalance is Cleveland Cliffs. 22 million to the sell side right now for Cleveland Cliffs. I don't know what SOJD is, but it's got 30 million interest in whatever that stock is.
You don't know what SOJ is?
You know what this is?
SOJD?
You know what that reminds me of? Remember we had a trader.
Sod?
His last name, basically. Yeah.
Last name was SOJ?
Yeah. What the heck?
I don't.
Okay, this doesn't make any sense. No, that doesn't add up at all. This stock has done 64,000
There we go,
shares.
SOJ.
And it's got 30 million into the imbalance.
Is it possibly a buyout that's getting like no volume?
No. Because it doesn't even trade.
No, but it's just like a buyout that's doing nothing.
I gotta look this up because how could a stock doing 64,000 shares in volume have an interest of 31 million in the close with 19 not paired? That seems like a bit of a problem.
I just want to say...
I'm just going to look it up.
Yeah, look it up. We'll figure it out. Yeah, hey, what's up to Zach? Well, trust me, I'm not holding this stock down by any stretch of the imagination. I have 4% left now of this trade, and I'm actually bidding 30s to get some more out right now of this name. We're loving life right now. Palantir is what it is, and this is a big holding. We've had this stock. We have a hat here. You know what? On Palantir, on like a big Palantir day, first of all, here, Ozan, we'll go one last little cash cow situation there, and then we'll put on the Palantir hat that an old trader there, Trader Prad, gave me this hat back in the day, and we wear it very, very proudly. We were part of this name, PLTR, that is. And by the way, Nuke, just before we go, you guys all know about Palantir. Look, we're long at direct listing prices. They're at $48, and we've loved Palantir for a while. I always talked about founder-led businesses, right? You see Elon Musk. You're seeing Michael Dell, right, with Dell, and although they went public, came off the market, came back on. By Michael Dell, brought them back on. See what's happened since that's happened. But anyways, Nuke now just falling a little bit out of favor here. Still up. Just made a huge move up right now from 36 up to 48, and then stopping. So 48, roughly, guys and girls and traders, roughly yesterday's close. So right there, we had a nice level break, and then come right back in. So break it in the after hours and into today. Then we sort of respected that pre-market level, took out 44, ran up $4 right into here. Nuke has been going nuclear over the last little while, but again, the only name that I logged in today and put a way too low bid on, and it was just in front of the 200 period moving average, was SMR, because I was just like, you know what, if this name just keeps on getting nuked to the downside, at some point I want to buy more of this name. Our only real outs were in here somewhere, like 22, 23s. We got nothing out up here, so that's bad, but it's not really. The plan is to hold it forever anyways. I told you, pretty much not selling anything else. If it comes back into I almost sold Palantir today. It was like not doing it, but that's probably a mistake. Anyways, there it is, down here at 12.50, something like that. So I think I was like high 13s for a bid today, just in case we got that flush. It went to 17.50. Wow, it got to 17.50, but at the end of the day, one little dropped out. I think it could happen maybe next week for SMR. So good move right now, man, for us. We're still waiting for some of these plays. This is what it looks like to me at the end of the day here. So, we do have, we just got a nice bid there on AMD, so another out as it goes to the downside here. So what we're going to look at here, top 10, 20 rates by buy and sell side, trade size. So, Apollo Group there, it's not a huge volume stock. So today, the fact that it's going to be traded 10 or 100 million, or that's dollars in millions. 10,000 million? So, okay, big number right there to buy. Then a couple sells with AVGO, which of course is Broadcom and Meta platforms. Also Apple with a sell as well. Visa. So these are just the names that are basically being rebalanced and or added or deleted, right? And again, we'll talk about it, but do your research, figure it out, which ones are being added, deleted for yourself. But at the end of the day, we'll tell you it's Palantir, MSTR is there as well. Moderna's here, but I don't see it on this board. Google's a net sell. So look, this is the thing. The reason why a lot of these tech names are sells is because they've just outperformed. So it's a rebalance. So as you're adding in different shares, things have to be repriced at certain percentages. They get outweighted, so on and so forth. So it's really a weighting. It's not that any of these stocks are being added or deleted, although some of them are, like Apollo, Workday, Palantir. So, that's just kind of the stuff that we're dealing with here. There's more and more information. Like there's Amazon right there as a small buy. So one of the big tech names that's a buy is Amazon. So you got to try to figure out that one.
I saw NVIDIA as a buy. I thought that was a sell. Go back.
Buy. Yeah, it is. It's right here.
Yeah, you know what?
The NVIDIA right here, buy.
You know what? I had a different sheet than the one you're looking at.
This is just a quarterly rebalance. I don't know.
Yeah, so NVIDIA...
It's not even a sheet. This is a website. Internal.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, this is not the actual...
There's two tip ones. But anyway, that's a...
MSTR. Here's all the ads or deletes.
Yeah, the ads and the deletes, I think, are usually what
SMCI,
people
delete.
Get a lot of the attention for.
The thing is like, look at the delete, right? SMCI is a delete, so look what it's doing right now.
It's actually relatively weak. It was screaming this morning.
That's right. I didn't realize it pulled back.
Yeah, it pulled back.
So there's the move to 33. So if we're expecting right there on SMCI deletion of net shares, 10 million to sell. I tried to zoom in and that just screwed everything up real bad. So we'll get that back. But anyways, I'll fix it for you. 10 million shares to sell on SMCI. You would think it's going down a little more than this, right? And right now, SMCI, although we can see it, I don't know why now my scroll won't even work. I hit this. Down now, or a nice upside. Why is it going up, right? So again, at 350, all of these guys will be filled out. Thank you for joining us again. Like, when's the last time, those of you that are, first of all, hit the like button. Like 4,000 watching. We got to get this going. 4,500 watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Come back tomorrow. Have fun with us tomorrow. Well, we won't be here tomorrow. Have fun with us Monday. So these imbalances right here, look at this. Like, these are shares, like just at 22 million, 19 million, 14 million, Kohl's, 14 million, Bank of America. And these are already been paired off. Like, you're talking about AT&T as a sell still of 20 million. At one point it was 32 million. It's already been paired off. So it came 32 million. Someone said, okay, I'll buy 12 million of that. Paired it off. That's what this paired off means. So what we're going to do is there's Nike, buy. Still buy 5 million, right? Like it's worth looking at it now, but not really. So what we mean by that is here, let's just say like Nike's a buy. So what's Nike doing? Well, okay, let's look at something else because it's off earnings. Let's just look at Kohl's.
Look at Rando, yeah.
Yeah, like so here's Kohl's. Like see, it's a sell. So then you'd say like, why is it doing this? So if it stays like that, the more it stays high, the higher it stays heading into the close, the more likely to get a move in the direction of the imbalance. Okay, so we'll have to watch this as it gets closer and closer and closer, and that's why we wait for the name like a Palantir or anything NASDAQ-based that was going to come out, as Palantir right now is at highs again. We just bought this thing a half hour ago. If this thing comes out a bid, it's going to come out at 350. So we don't get the news, and if you guys have a better source, please, ASAP over here. Doesn't come out till 350. So if it comes out, imagine it comes out a sell, and everybody's looking at this as an ad today. Well, that's going to send this name down multiple dollars immediately. So the idea is to be flat, try to count your chickens before they hatch, literally before they hatch. Then at 350 they will hatch, and you will see how many ugly ducklings are running around in your portfolio. So that's what you're doing. You know what? Since I put the hat on, I feel like it's slowed down a little bit there, Sebastian. I don't think it's going up any dramatically here at all. We had bought this.
But the market's not doing much.
The market, AMD is good.
NVNI just halted, which is, I think Sharif was on this. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I saw it.
I can look it up.
I thought the midday were on this stock, or at least mentioning it, but it just broke out in a big way. This is a pretty good double top break. I guess it didn't halt. I guess no, you know what? It got to the band. It's at the band now, so it got to the band once and didn't halt, and it just went up to the halt band again and didn't halt. So this is going a little bit parabolic here without actually halting. So NVNI up 250%. I don't even know the short float on it because I wasn't looking at it this morning. NVNI, non-existent short float, 23 million float, done 48 million shares. So the story, I guess, here is the float, not the short float. So good luck as it continues to go. And it's going into another, it just keeps on hitting the halt band. It just did it again, ticking down within 15 seconds because it has to hold at the halt band for 15 seconds to go into a halt. It'll get there for a few seconds and then pull back, and then the halt band resets higher after a little bit. And that's, yeah, it just keeps on doing it over and over again. CCL, which we just, CCL's in here, stock. CCL, which had just broken out to 27, now pulling back into the prior high, which was the morning high was 27.85, and then it did like a little bit of a wick underneath there. So it just pulled back, now starting to consolidate above the prior high. Once it can resume an uptrend, I want to look to get into that long. MSTR is still, like now it's kind of barcoding on MSTR, and the volume's really tapering off here, still kind of working its way down. Like it hasn't broken out and away from the top. So it's still in a pullback phase. And that prior high is like 357. So the prior high is a ways away there. CCL is the one that looks like it could be setting up. Oh, and just a quick update. Like Intel's now, see the consolidation here? Like since it broke down there, now you've got a very clear range between the 45 and the 60. So I'm just going to start getting some out in front of what is the current support level. And a similar thing on Rivian. But CCL is the one that's getting my attention. Is it, okay, now it's starting to round down, so I guess give it more time. Looking for a reversion of this downward trend to resume the uptrend. Simple as that. Like it gave a bit of a bounce, but then it broke that low, so it's still sliding backwards here. And if it's sliding backwards, I want to give it an opportunity to make a base and start going back into the high. The reason we like it, this is the daily chart on CCL. Like it's not exactly breaking out from nothing. This is a quintuple top for this month. Like it's tested 2680 to 26 to 27. It's tested that 5 times this month. So this is the day that it breaks away. On earnings, I'm all for it. Just looking for it to revert this trend and head back into the upside. Yeah, that NVNI, it's blue skies. Like there's nothing to look at on the daily and weekly chart. It's just a low float name that seems to be breaking away big time. I'm not even sure what the story is. But high volume. The volume looks pretty good on it.
All right. I was just looking at, so I retweeted this here today, and I just wanted to do something a little more macro. What's up, Shiv? I took off my hat because apparently Palantir's kept going down since I put it on. So, I'm trying. Here now, shout out to Adair, send me this. So this is returns since the election.
Oh, you've got it.
Like, nah, but it's this has nothing to do with Fartcoin.
Why did someone even put Fartcoin?
I don't know, but this guy, like Michael Noss, I don't know if this guy, pretty big guy here, Charlie Bolello here. So if he's talking about it, there must be some people. Anyways, that's followed by Dogecoin, so that's fine. So I kind of take those away. Then you got Tesla, MicroStrategy entering today, Bitcoin. So like 4 of the top 5. Why is that pause there? 4 of the top 5 have just been sort of sitting here waiting. So that's all crypto. And then Coinbase as well. Then you got the US dollar, which is kind of fun to see.
That's wild.
Yeah, up 5%. Like you didn't think, many people definitely not calling that kind of a move on the US dollars. I think that's taking a lot of people by surprise. Trump media up 0.4%. But since then, you looking down here, and look, there's other sectors that are moving around as well. And these are just some random names. I just thought it was interesting to see the US dollar where that was, and then everything basically is all crypto based. It was more this side that was a little more interesting here. So small caps, and again, this is since the election. So we had that huge sort of run up. And I said today when we came in, and now it's not going to be true because the market's back up, but we were underneath November 5th today at open. So we had given back everything there, and then now we move forward and we just start to look at what's been moving and where. Well, gold right now down 6%. Could be some value there if you thought the market had overperformed itself. Now revert back to the mean. So I actually posted on here as well that I thought China right here could be interesting play out of everything here because again, tariff talk, Maybe the dollar sort of reverts back. That could be good for China and some of the trade talk there. So we'll have to wait to see. But at the end of the day, we still flush downside on AMD. And we just took another bid there at VWAP. So now let's just let it roll. We're now heading into the power hour, and we're going to be able to see here what we're looking at. We wanted to stay true to our ideas. So the one thing, I mean, we learned a lot of things from Obi, from Neil, from Poker Joe over there, and from Sharif. And that is that the one thing that I've learned recently, and this is more from Obi because he makes 1 or 2 trades sometimes, and it was just stick with what, I still got to do me, and, you know, for good reason, but it's just like, sometimes you got to stick with the trade that you really do believe in, and if it shuts you down, it shuts you down. Now, it's not going to shut me down, but the idea behind it all is to stick with what you're doing and believe in something and go with it. So on AMD today, I only have 4 or 5 names traded, and AMD has been a big one. We should have maybe gone back to Tesla again at the end of it all, but Palantir, actually, it's been AMD, Palantir, Roblox. Roblox, So you talk about going against your own book. Like, I really like Roblox, but this one came into a level where this is the same time we were shorting Tesla. Like, we had to get out of the way there. We were shorting this into what was a weak stock at the time, into that high. And all of a sudden, it just got high and started going northbound right there. So nice move upside for sure here for Roblox. But anyways, continuously going higher upside. All right, man, I took off that hat for you. It doesn't seem like Palantirs or anything.
I think.
What about MSTR?
Roblox is a squeeze. So MSTR. My chart's on CCL because it just put in a little bit of a reversal candle. So close with a green, rounded bottom. So I'm in 96. Oh, I got a bit of midpoint. It's a weird price. 95.98. How do I even get that? So 96, and we'll give it to the local high. A little bit of a rounded bottom trade. It's taking our shot. It's a reversion trade, trend down. We're going to join the trend and give it to that local bottom. The MSTR chart, this black chart's missing a bit of data. Ignore VWAP, it doesn't really matter. But MSTR, the point is, MSTR, since you changed the hat on Palantir because Palantir is coming down, MSTR has been pulling back, and it hasn't really reverted. It's still dropping here and making lower lows. So it could just be a function of, hey, the names that are getting, those are the 2 big additions to the NASDAQ 100. So they could just be falling together. I guess maybe this chart's better. Yeah, like this one's not missing anything. They could just be pulling back together. But the idea is this hasn't tested the prior high yet. I think it can do it, and I fully expect MSTR could move $50 in the last 20 minutes or half an hour.
Thank you.
It can move $20. It's going to have some big moves. I think you want to be patient. Certainly it has every opportunity to want to go here, but I'm just looking for this to actually revert this little downtrend. Like, it went to break the high, since then lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low. So there hasn't been a good spot where there's been a dip yet. It's still above 357, so as long as it's above the prior high, good, but at some point you want it to stop making lower highs and lower lows and then go into a long. Like, look at it, it just broke the low again. So, you know, I don't want to be fighting this pullback in MSTR. I want to see it round that bottom off. Unfortunately, it's just not happening for it. There's also the other thing I wanted to take a quick look at is, like, NVIDIA, like, it tells you a little bit about the afternoon. Like, NVIDIA, barcode right now. The one name that's in the mag that is moving is, well, it was a minute ago, Jinx, was Alphabet. Like, Alphabet was actually screaming into the highs. Thought maybe that was going to be something, but then we pull back over, and it's in the midst of a pullback. So I think you don't want to chase a move if you're waiting for a little bit of a dip. If we're going sideways, get a dip in consolidation along trend. And the only thing, I'm in 2 shorts, but the only thing I'm considering shorting this afternoon as a new one is I'm eyeballing SMCI because it's a lead, or Moderna. Like, SMCI is just chilling out doing nothing off VWAP. If there's a chance for it to break down before 330, let's say it breaks this flat bottom before we get too tight to the imbalances, hey, I'll take a shot at that. And then if the imbalance comes out your way, you can be in on momentum. Like this and mRNA have, as the market's chilling at the highs, they're either at or underneath VWAP. This one just doesn't have an obvious setup, whereas SMCI's got this flat bottom right in here. Like, if it gets underneath like 31.85, like, you're breaking a support level. And this was a pretty key price level before. It was breaking trend at this price. So I have eyeballs on that, but that's pretty much it. We got thank you, H. Jordan Lopez. Appreciate the super chat. But pre-market scare to watch it rip, waiting for dip. So I think you're just describing the day, right? This morning was 100% a pre-market scare. And it's not like we've never seen that before because, wait a second, I got filled. Okay, never mind. I got filled on Intel. We've seen this before. And the day that we saw that was on that August 6th. So pull up just about any stock and you go back to that August 6th bottom. Like I'll just pull up NVIDIA because Intel was already at lows. Invalid session. You pull up NVIDIA and there was that August 6th low, which I guess we're not split adjusted, so I have to pull up something else. We'll just go Tesla, which I know we can. This morning, that August low, everybody and their mother was like, this is the worst day ever. Like stocks were trending down. Essentially, you were making and breaking a bunch of bottoms. The futures were down 5%, not even like 2 or 3%. It was looking very, very nasty. And it was like people were going to go limit down. That morning was probably the easiest, in a sense, buy the open trade as an idea. Getting liquidity at the open was impossible because the algos were chewing everything up on any Mag 7 name, and you couldn't get everything for the first few dollars of any move. Like I punched a 200 break on Tesla crossing, or on Apple crossing 50 cents, you got nothing because everyone and their mother tried to buy it. So sometimes that reversal trade, even if it's a down day, is like your best chance because the risk to reward ends up so good and everyone's panicking that the other direction can end up better. And that's what that August 6th was. Tesla right now, because I saw someone saying check the chart, Tesla is another stock just barcoding. Chilling at the 440, not really doing much of anything there. MSTR just continues to fall back. Maybe this will just dip into VWAP and then that'll be the trade. But yeah, you're seeing it just kind of slide slowly down here on MSTR. It was up almost 11%, now down to 9 as it continues this pullback. Future's not really doing anything. I got the eyeballs on pretty much names outside of CCL, names that are going to do, or ideally going to make moves into that close. SMCI, flat bottom break potential, MSTR, looking for a chance to get in a mean reversion dip buy. And Moderna's kind of dancing as well. That's not doing much.
Moderna could be a good one for sure. All right, so those of you that were watching, hope you're paying a little bit of attention there. Our out was always the 50-period moving average on Palantir. So as Palantir drips down, there we go. We're still holding a small piece of it, about 10% left, to be honest with you, of Palantir. I really hoped it wouldn't break that, but it does break it. So we punch out there as it breaks through again, and just an automated trade for us, breaking back down through there. All right, so there's the move here, 78.64. Like that's the 200 period. So this is where I want to buy again. I'm actually put it at 78.50. I guess I was looking down here, like at that bottom, which is 40s. So I was thinking about, yeah, maybe we'll just up it anyways. 78.60s and change. We'll have another look once that hits. So if that comes through, fine. Our net is not changing. It's actually going upside a little bit on this, believe it or not. And part of that reason is because look what's happening here to AMD. As we actually have more shares on AMD right now than we do on Palantir. The problem is Palantir, again, we got out on the top side. We didn't layer into this trade the way we did on AMD. Like AMD, that was the trade that we wanted. That's why we have so many outs here on this name. But it's nice upside trade back in now for AMD. But you know what? It's like enough talking. Let's try to find some trades. I mean, I got to get into something if we see it. So let's have a look to see if we do see something. 97,000 for crypto. You know, it's nice to see Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum was down to 3,200. So nice little bounce back almost to 35. IBIT, just having a quick look. So I would look at this and think short almost because there's the high from the afternoon, or I guess the mid-morning-ish, I guess. Here's the afternoon high that we just put in right now at 55.50, and they're pretty much the exact same level. Now you're underneath the 200, underneath the 50 period and starting to go a little bit lower. So again, just despite MSTR being added or whatever's happening on the rebalances, Bitcoin doesn't care about that. So this could just be, again, a technical look at this. So I would say, yeah, again, like trying to get into something, I think it's worth a fade here. So if this can get up to 55, 40 or so here on IBIT. If we zoom in just a little bit there into this area, I think that'd be worth a fade off the 50-period moving average. 50-period hasn't really been anything right here, but if it does bump up, then at least we can use it against that high there. But the market, you know, whenever we can't find anything to trade, we try to like look at notes that we had before. So Micron, we wanted the 90 short. I haven't even looked at that. I don't think we got, okay.
GameStop was moving before, but
This is actually very close to 90 right now. All right, well, we left it alone all day. Micron up 2 and a bit, really getting going. The reason why we like 90 short again, as what we wrote down, you know, big mover off earnings, right? We saw that, was like, what, on Tuesday or on Wednesday? Just straight to the downside there. And it made a bottom finally in and around 85. And then yesterday and this morning kind of double touches that down there to 84, 85 again, now straight up. So this is that 90, kind of like right into here. When we lost it, we hadn't seen it again. So I'd sort of thought if the market got going, this could be a short. So why don't we look at that then? You know, we've got a nice $1.80, $1.90 here on AMD. So that's good. So we're really happy with that. We're trying to cash out. We did our best to hold on to some Palantir. Looks like that's doing well, coming back upside again. We'll have a target a little bit higher. And let's work on, I like the short Micron better than the IBIT short. So we'll wait to see if Micron can get going. 89.30s. All right, if we're going to use 90, we got to get closer. So 89.80, 89.70 or so as a possible short there. So a couple ideas. If IBIT can get back to its highs, I think worth the short. And I think Micron at these levels possibly as well. So a little something that we're looking for there, or maybe trade the futures, but you've already talked about it.
they're not moving.
Pretty much
Yeah,
barcoding. What about Broadcom?
I was just actually, when some of the chip names have been actually not that bad, to be honest, like they're starting to move a little bit, but MSTR did revert this trend a little bit here. So we're going to try and get these 57s that we're looking for. There was a move. I saw someone was trying to message me about Asana. It did spike up and it kind of hit some of those scanners, but just a quick look. Yeah, like the volume really bad, really bad on that move. So it was doing nothing and then there's this spike, but as you can see, not a lot of volume. Not going to chase it. You can always tell whether there's something real, like big going on by whether or not you see any real volume on a late afternoon move. So not really seeing a heck of a lot there. MSTR is starting to go, as we mentioned. So there's your local bottom just underneath. It's like 355 change. So if it breaks 55, an easy out if I can pick up some 57s, as it looks like it wants to retrace back into those highs. CCL does go, but now it's going sideways. So it pulls back, and it's holding the level we're at, but all it's doing is holding. Hold. Sebastian's saying, it was me. Oh, it was you that was talking about Asana. Yeah, it's worth putting out on the watch. I'd like to see the volume come in there on Asana. There was no news story or anything along those lines like we had with US Steel, but even that thing's not moving. And the reason why, if I so much as hear in my ear US Steel, I'm now training myself to just flip to the stock, because like the deal price being 55 and the trend being down the way that it is, and people think the deal's going to fall through. Like any real news on this, if the deal got firmed up, the blast to the upside would be tremendous. And if the deal got completely officially kiboshed, there's still some juice left in the trade. So like this is one of those names where I almost don't care. Like you tell me there's something going on with it, I'm going to flip to it. My first thought is going to have my hands on the short key, but it works in both directions. Like the day, if somebody ever told me that deal's going through, I'd punch everything, like anything underneath. I mean, you'd pretty much hit any price when it's in the 30s. But yeah, most of the times it's going down. Now MSTR just doesn't want to stop.
We got another out here on VWAP on AMD, but this Christmas, give yourself the gift of smarter trading with trade ideas. You see that QR code right there. Don't miss out on 25% off all subscriptions, including upgrades to premium. So if you're already there, upgrade, grab that 25 points. Might as well. Merry Christmas, courtesy of Trader TV Live. Unlock powerful trading tools and insights to take your strategies to the next level. But hurry, this special offer ends December 26th. Ramin, I'm not even at that part yet. Here it comes. Use code TraderTV25 at checkout to save big. Visit ideas.com today and make this holiday season your most profitable yet. Ramin just reminding me that I have to say Trader TV 25.
Yes.
Because there was a typo. No, there's no typo in it now. It's fixed.
It was a typo?
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, right there on the screen. You know, if you don't believe us, believe what's in front of your eyes right there. Scan that QR code.
There would have been a typo.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure when I read it this morning, I said
typo.
something different.
Yeah, Neil screwed it up. So there you go. He screwed up for everybody, Neil. Nice one, Neil.
But now you can get the actual deal with the corrections.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like, don't try Trader TV 24. Like, that might not work, you know.
Nor 26.
Get that extra percent. Yeah, I mean,
imagine it was that simple.
26, yeah, just type in 45. You know what, just go over there, scan the QR code, type in Trader TV 45, and let me know what happens. Okay, so yeah, if it works, I'm going right over and getting myself. All right, so we get out there. So you see what I did there? I'm making everybody go there, at least scan it, you know? So he's like getting the feels, going over there. Right, take a shot. Let's take a shot, right? Yeah, Neil, you do it. All right, so here we go. At VWAP, AMD, nice trade there. Market's trying to go to the downside. So I would say right here, if you're playing the futures, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that we get back into VWAP. I mean, heading into the weekend, you know, anything could happen. We always talk about unfortunate. You know, we've been pretty fortunate, actually, since the election that there hasn't been too many news-related issues as far as, and I got to be careful what I say because every day there's violence all around the world, obviously. But we still wait to see what winds up happening with China, with the Middle East, with Russia, Ukraine, and all of that. So, you know, it hasn't been like too crazy of a period here. We'll have to wait till Jan 20th when that administration finally comes in and some of those deals start happening. So despite the Fed, the market today goes back to the upside. So we talk about like what drives the market. And I mean, you know, we had a dramatic move in the Fed, not in the Fed. We had as expected move in the Fed, but a dramatic reaction to the Fed over the last couple of days, including this day, which is the whole move when the Dow went down 1,200 points for its 10th consecutive down day. Wound up green yesterday, though, apparently, because of where it sort of wicked down to. Winds up green yesterday, so that gets flipped over. But then look where we are. Like, sure, at the top, we're not too far away from that, right? A couple hundred points away from the NASDAQ. So just be careful thinking that it's like all doom and gloom right now. The Fed is just going to be, hopefully, we'll watch out. We'll get a good PCI number, CPI, sorry. Maybe CPI will come in a little cooler, so we'll get a little bit of a better number there as far as inflation, and then we can get back on track and maybe start the rate cutting cycle again in the second half or beginning Q2 there of next year. Looks like we'll get that pause in January. So for me, for now, I still say it's foot on the gas for the longs. You just got to wait for your opportunity. You had a couple good ones there.
In the right stocks, though.
Yeah, in the right stocks, the right spot. Like I did dip by a little bit in Bitcoin. I told you we had that thought about liquidating everything or half of it and getting into crypto. So I did a little bit of that. We got into some crypto yesterday at 94,000. Just some dip by opportunities. I am so loaded to the udders. Yeah,
You put that what on the...
Yeah, it's going on the chain wax, all my technology positions. But at the end of the day, pretty comfortable holding on to everything. So
I'm not adding to Rivian on dips.
I'm never adding to Rivian.
Well, like it matters what you're buying. Like I'm eyeballing. I actually missed.
Right.
Oh, someone in the chat was like, Neil, did you get that Caterpillar? I actually missed the dip buy. That I did not get filled on. I dip bought the Qs, and I got Boeing yesterday, but I missed Caterpillar. That was unfortunate because I think I just put it at a silly price. And then sometimes when you're looking for a dip buy in your long term and you look and you didn't get filled in the morning, and I've done this happen a few times with me, you don't get filled in the morning. Well, if it hasn't gone a bajillion %, you can just buy it like a point higher at lunchtime. You know, like it's at the end of the day, it's like, who cares? It's still bounced off the 200 period moving average, whether you got, you know, like I'm looking at MSTR right now, but like whether you bought something long term at 300 and, you know, let's say 300. This is bad.
That's the beauty of it. You never remember the price.
That's a bad example on MSTR because MSTR has moved way too much. Okay, I'll just put up Caterpillar for an example. Yeah. Like whether you get it underneath 360 or the show ends and I buy it at 368. Like, does it really matter? Like the high is at 420. The bounce has happened off the 200 period moving average. So this is one of those where I'll probably just end up picking it up in the close, or who cares early in the aftermarket. But yeah, Caterpillar was a name I was looking for the bounce to start getting some dollar cost averaging on, and it bounced off the 200 period moving average. It's a good stock, but yeah, want to make sure they're good ones. Elon said, welcome on board the Boeing. See, the thing about that, Elon, is I've been on board the Boeing for a while. I did sell a significant amount of my position a while back, and my biggest regret was not selling all of it. And that's sort of the end. That's why I'm annoyed with Boeing, because I was like, I should have just dumped the whole thing when it lost the 50 period at the beginning of the year. But I didn't. I kept some. The COVID lows have held on, that kind of stuff. But now it's also above the 200 period moving average. Remember Nike, everybody? Where like Nike had this exact same pattern all year long. Reject the 200 period moving average for most of the year. Well, Boeing broke it out. It's that simple. And so that's what I like. The fact that it looks distinctly different from all the other moves. Seriously? Yeah, no, I have to wait for that chart to come back. But Nike was rejecting it the entire way too. But for some reason, I added an L on the end of that, so it's not going to load for another 20 seconds. But right now, the market is slowly pulling back. I did just get a fill on Rivian. CCL is still flat. It's just the shorts that we're already in that are heading in to the downside. And Elon just said, shout out for the view on FedEx last night, shorts worked. Well, Joe made the same point. I think we were both sort of saying the same thing about FedEx in the moment, was you saw the move up, and just for what we're going. First of all, everyone, the market recap show is always chock full of fantastic ideas, and it's going to be another great one tonight with Sean. But we're just showing you guys what we see in real time, as opposed to trying to pontificate on what may or may not be.
Pontification.
I'm not an analyst or anything. You can't really see it on a 15-minute. Let me go to I think you got to look at the 3 to get a better sense of what happened. See this double wick top? So FedEx came up there, wicked the high, which is the big level, that 313 on the daily, and then it tried to retest it, and then they dropped the guidance, which was poor. You tell me, the stock goes ham, basically because they did the spin-off, right? And overall, the numbers were, they were okay, but then they dropped the guidance, which was negative, and then what happened? The stock dropped. It showed you a high, then the guidance came out, it tried to break the high, and came back down. I don't know, to me, that just seems like it would be a short, and if I honestly thought it was going to go 300 to the low of the day, I would have shorted the stock today as a trade. But, it's just Joe and I were just observing what happened in real time, and the timing of when the guidance came and the price that it was at, it sort of seemed obvious in the moment.
I'm reloaded!
Yeah, but it's only because it's at the 200 period moving average. This is, we had talked about, so I'm giving this up at 78.50. I'm not even doing any work on this. If this breaks below 78.50, we are gone. I'm not even looking at a chart or anything. I told the story a while ago of being down a lot of money trying to buy in this exact situation when Tesla was being added to the NASDAQ and so on and so forth. And it was just it came way in, and then all of a sudden at 350, and so everyone was out of the money, maybe hundreds or thousands, depending on, okay, here we go.
Another one.
All right. Stop talking, Sean. Yeah, that's probably what Jerome's trying to say. There's 20 more cents, my guy, right in there now. So we're happy. We're happy with it. Quick little 20-cent reload position there. So I hope some of you guys at least took that. But what I was getting at was, and again, story time maybe here. What I was getting at is very, very simple, and that was that Tesla on the rebalance came way in, way in. I think people were trying to buy dips,
insane, yeah.
And it was insane. I think it was $600, 660 it was at, and then it came all the way to 600. It dropped 7-8% to the downside. Yeah, $60.
I think it went 10% down at one point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 600. That's what I'm saying. 660 down to 600. So $60 and or 10% probably good. And then all of a sudden it came out. And it came out and then just blasted higher. And what I'm talking about coming out was this imbalance. And at 350, these imbalances are going to come through. And when they do, I'm hoping it's going to say Palantir blast off. And when it does, then we're going to be long already, hopefully. And if not, we'll get longer. So there's no way I'm going to be hella long this name. I'm willing to drop this if it breaks that 78.50. We just took another piece out there for 20 cents. So we're already riding high with shareholder money, with market's money, because we've already traded this out. So we're already, I don't even know the word I'm trying to look for here. Playing with house money.
House money.
House money. Hello, Riverboat Gambler. So we bought it down there, 70s, just out here at 85. It's just touching 90. We'll see if we can get a little bit higher. But for right now, it's all good because our out is going to be 78.50. So if that cracks lower, fine. We're taking it on this. But again, you don't use technicals really when there's chaos. And there's going to be chaos in this name. So be very, very careful with Palantir here at 345 into 350 when that number does come out. And then just a quick one before we go back. AMD rings the register down at those lows again, $2 now, plus in the money for advanced micro devices. So yeah, man, we're really cooking right now. We're over $2.30 in the money net here overall. So far so good. We'll update this when it goes. And if we're ready, we'll go over to Neil.
Yes, sir. Why? What? 2 more seconds? 60 seconds. Okay, fine. We'll talk MSTR 10, and we'll get into
12,
it.
15,
So you had me like right on moment. So there's finally a higher low on MSTR. It took a while. Like it kind of trended down, did a dip, did another dip on a higher low. The scaling on this is going to be intense. So there you go. We got a bit of it. I didn't get it all, and there's a wall at 360. So at 360, there's a refresher, which I just tried to cover in front of, and yeah, I'm just going to get on that offer and see if we can grab it. We ready now?
Kablam. Yeah, that's more than 16 seconds.
All right, everybody. VinFast is on fire. For the 3rd consecutive month, it has secured title of Vietnam's #1 car brand, dominating the market with record-breaking sales. In November 2024, VinFast delivered an impressive 16,000 electric vehicles, setting a new all-time monthly high. But the story doesn't stop there. GSM, VinFast's strategic partner and Vietnam's leading green taxi operator, has officially expanded to Indonesia. With a fleet of VinFast EVs, GSM is delivering rides that are emission-free, noise-free, and fuel-odor-free, ensuring comfort and eco-friendliness for its passengers. Together, VinFast and GSM are building a green mobility ecosystem, replicating their success in Vietnam and driving sustainably forward in Indonesia. VinFast is shaping the future of transportation. Stay tuned for more exciting developments. And shout out to him. I know Sharif is a big fan of that model visually. I feel like he said he was. Did he say he was in one? I don't know. I know he's.
Where? A Cybertruck?
No, not the Cybertruck. He was a.
Oh,
fan
the VinFast. Yeah. No, I don't think. Yeah, he likes the VF9. I don't think he's actually.
He likes the VF9, but he's never driven it. It's the Cybertruck.
They were trying to get into the Cybertruck.
That's what it was.
Yeah, apparently it got.
And he had words about that.
Canceled. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. It was like him and his beef with Gemini.
Yeah, that guy's a unique guy for sure. All right, so there it is right there into the top, 78.97. Good out there on Palantir. So we reloaded it. It's been a good stock for us here today, but very, very light on the trade for Palantir. So I'm not going to try to, talk about like how amazing this trade has been. We're just waiting for oopsies. SMCI Blue Ocean, no. Here we go. We could check out the Blue Ocean if we want to right now, but there's no quote. So,
you have entitlements?
All right.
I haven't paid.
I didn't pay for entitlements. Maybe I don't have them. I've never traded Blue Ocean, so I don't know. All right, so right here, SMCI, just quickly, this is going to be another one of those imbalanced names that we're going to look at. We talked about where those names are, what those names are, and what they look like. And here it is right here. We did say SMCI, Apollo Global. So they're all into here, some of the up weights and the down weights. Over on this side, we get some of the red, which is going to be the down weights, which is broad. I don't know. I guess you guys can see this okay, right? I mean, if I zoom in, it kind of there. That's maybe the best I can do. Broadcom, Meta, Apple, Tesla, JP Morgan, downside, Google, downside. I don't even really see SMCI on there. Yeah, Wells Fargo is one in a bit. On the upside, Workday, Apollo, Visa, Palantir, MSTR, Amazon to go. And then we are going to go to Adair quickly. I just want to show you where it shows me the ups. Oh, I'll get it then. I'll have to get it when we get back. The ups and down grades, adds and deletes into this market. So we'll have to wait for that. But at the end of the day, lots of information we'll go over when we get right back from Madeira.
Some of these small caps are looking to run right into the close here. TPIC, TPI Composite, Sharif talked about this one earlier today, up about 90% right now in the day, near days highs here with a short float of 17.3% and no news catalyst that I can find. The other one is OPTX. This is Syntech Optics Holdings. This is another one that was covered in the midday. As you can see here, a spike in volume as we head into, I guess, the last half hour of the trading day. This one had a bit of a catalyst. They announced that Matt Carey, who is a former employee of the company, is going to be leading business development and delivery at OPTX with a float here of 6.06 million shares. Back to you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe.
We'll have to address this position real quick because right now we are $2.50 now in the money, not on SMCI, of course, on AMD. And again, it's all about what you're trading, right? Trade the right names. You know, check out the stick. You know, check out some of the notes provided here as well. Because like, look at SMCI. This is what the SMCI looks like. If you take your phone out and you scan that, that's going to be the barcode that'll take you to, I think, Chick-fil-A. But if you go right here and you're looking at AMD, you're seeing a nice downside move right back in here into the lows again. So I'm on the bid trying to take this. This is what I was stumbling with right here. So if we have a quick little look at what we're talking about, it's going to be right here. This is Palantir, addition, Palantir, MSTR, and Axon Enterprises being added into the NASDAQ 100. And then it's Moderna, SMCI, and Illumina coming out. So do not shoot the Piper or all that kind of stuff when it comes out the other way. This is what is expected.
It actually might do that.
Exactly, and that's why I was going to tell everybody that this is not, that's why we have our Palantir. Although Palantir right now, 40 cents in the money. I mean, the net is just climbing, but at the end of the day, this is what's supposed to happen. These are announced quarterly rebalance changes, and we're just going to sit here and watch and wait and see what winds up happening. And there it is again right now. We'll props it up to anybody on this Palantir because there it goes. So again, one of the only trades here for me, well, the only trade for me in the after show right now, which is what we're doing right there, the afternoon show, that's the long. So a couple builds, a couple nice positions there. And then, of course, just sort of hanging out and watching this AMD trade and not panicking. Not pushing the buy or sell button too much, just making sure that we stick with our plan of action, stick with the trades. Tesla's still 437.
Yeah, that hasn't moved. The WFC, that's going on my list of, that's a big notional for WFC.
Big.
So like the ones I'm going to watch going to 350, MSTR, Palantir, obvious, SoFi, SMCI, and Moderna, obvious, WFC.
Because you said SoFi, I bet you SoFi somehow magically comes out as the craziest in balance.
No chance.
Like there's a weird thing like that. Like sometimes you don't.
Oh, it's having a good day today.
Yeah, see? Sometimes like you can like manifest things.
That chart's bad on SoFi, by the way. I'll cop to, okay. Oh no, but I sold this I sold some SoFi because I didn't want to get caught in the last time this moved off $7 and I did nothing with it. And look at how long you wasted time in SoFi before it finally went. So I'm like, I'm not looking that gift horse in the mouth. I'm talking in the personal account, everybody. And so I recently sold some. It was probably, maybe it was even 2 weeks ago, and then I think about it. I'd have to double check, but it was just underneath the 16 level. Look at it fall back. The 50 period's at 13. I'm not even sure that's where I'd want to add back in. The stock's been bad enough that I think I'd wait for the $9 level. All right, MSTR doesn't want to hold. I want to be in it, but I don't want to be fighting anything until it's either at a big level or we get closer to 350. Because as Sean said, I distinctly remember that Tesla day. And I remember thinking the same thing. Let's just buy some, so I'm in the long on Tesla. I remember it being a bit of a distraction because it initially did tank. So anything it's a buy, I want to give it a shot. Like I don't mind scalping some out, see if you can't get a win, but I just reloaded and lost anyways. But I think 350, VWAP are going to be in play. SMCI to me is a flat bottom break. If it flat bottom breaks and the imbalance comes out because the imbalance comes out of sell, probably don't get the trade because the algos are going to chew that one up. So you can see where the support is on SMCI. Like if it loses this bid right at 350 because of a sell imbalance, my guess is it's going to lose it in such a big way that you don't get a fill. But if it does it before, I want to be short. And for anyone out there, we actually had to pay for locates on SMCI. They were unbelievably cheap here at Real Trading, despite the fact it's a delete today. I think for 1,000 shares, you were paying, it was less than $1. I don't remember the exact price, but it was very cheap. I was surprised. I'm like, well, whether it comes out of sell or not, I'm just going to lock those in on the off chance that I do get a chance to trade it. So it's not 32 even, It's like 31.85 as a breakdown. It's 20 cents away. It could happen at any moment, but the order is in to punch short if it does. So it's all about those. I am still holding on to, like, Rivian just pulled into VWAP, and Intel's not there yet, but it's getting close to VWAP as well. Just holding those two names and looking for this breakdown, ideally on SMCI. But I'm canceling that breakdown order if essentially at 350. Like, I don't want to get triggered in. Like, if it comes out a bid and somehow goes down first, I wouldn't want to get triggered in on that move.
We're throwing somewhere. Adara over at the screens.
What we're going to do here is take a look at the larger S&P 500 names to the upside and downside today. For this segment today, we're going to take a look at large movers to the upside because really the only significant mover to the downside today was Old Dominion. So we're going to look at some of these catalyst-driven names that we maybe haven't discussed as much today, starting with Carnival. This one we've talked about a little bit, up about 6.5% today on an earnings beat, top and bottom line above expectations, and nice year-over-year improvements as well for CCL. Then we have OXY. This is an interesting one here, up about 4.2%. Warren Buffett increasing his stake in the company by about 8.9 million shares at an average price of just under $46 a share. Now he has reclaimed over 10% ownership of OXY. So keep an eye on Oxy there. Last but not least, DXCM, Dexcom. This is yet another Novo Nordisk related sympathy or antipathy play. We talked about this earlier. A lot of these weight loss related names like AbbVie, Eli Lilly, and Amgen were trading higher after Novo Nordisk's hybrid weight loss drug trial revealed slightly less weight loss than expected. But some of these glucose related names like Dexcom, which does focus on diabetes related care, also trading higher in antipathy to that catalyst, guys. So keep an eye on DXCM. Back to you.
Right, in antipathy.
That's a school word extraordinaire right there.
Yeah, I was like, what is she trying to do? Thank you, Adara, for all of that. And okay, so there goes Palantir breakthrough. We are now out of Palantir, as we discussed. Bye-bye PLTR. And by the way, 1, 2, approaching $3. I'm just going to show you something else because we just had a super chat or someone asked about investing, if they're buying anything into the end of the year. So I'll just talk about that in a second. So there goes AMD, man. Huge win for us. So our net is significantly higher right now than it was before we started this afternoon segment. So that's good always. All right, so here it is. Just quickly, I was thinking about for myself, and I should probably call it up. So I bought I wasn't here yesterday. I didn't do any buying yesterday. At the close on Wednesday, it's Friday, Wednesday, I bought some diamonds. And it's slightly up right now. So the diamonds is the Dow Jones 30. So what I wanted to show you is just, of course, all of the holdings in the Dow Jones. So I own a lot of these companies already, not as many, obviously, as I do. If you look at like the top 10 in the NASDAQ 100, I probably own all 10 of those. But I just sort of like the diversification in the Dow Jones 30. I really like the fact that they booted out Intel, obviously, and added NVIDIA, which should be in here. Again, this might be an older, I don't know where it is. There it is in there. There's NVIDIA there, so only 2% for NVIDIA. So again, just some of these companies, I own a lot of them. So instead of wanting to pick them, again, there's gonna be some names in here that you might be like, you could own all of these themselves. I pretty much do, but it's just, instead of just piling into the NASDAQ and all that, I'm going to look at that. So the diamond. So that was one thing that for me, I was going to have a quick look. All right, because, I like the chips, so I would say SMH, again, which you always hear me talking about that. I've been buying some Uber, but not in the last couple of weeks. Now that it's down at that $60 mark, I am very, very nervous about Uber. And of course, this is not any talk other than what I'm doing in my own personal account. It has nothing really to do with you guys, but that's just some ideas that I was thinking about. And yeah, Uber at 60, Uber at 56, a good one. All right, since many are leaving, what's up, Lava? Thank you for the $10 here for next week. Happy holidays to Lion Traders. Best chat, and of course, best mod ever. Neil, Sean, Brendan, everyone working hard. Thank you so much, Lava Trader, as well. And we're going to say like that. Thank you. You've been here for a while. We want to say big thank you to Bears vs. Bulls, which you mentioned there about the moderator as well. All right, like AMD is really falling out of bed like real quick right now. So this name, like I said, is about 50x the next profitable name here. So yeah, it's growing harder and higher than that rate now. So here it goes, man. AMD to the downside, $3 in the money. Really glad we held this and really glad it's such a big name today. So good job there. It might even be more than 50x now that I look at it, but I know that number sounds crazy. It's just we haven't had much risk anywhere. At this one, we actually did. So we would have put more risk on Tesla, but we just got out of it. So that's fine to us. And I'm talking about the next best stock. As far as losing, what we lost on Tesla was, as I said, about 12% or so of what we had made on AMD. So it's absolutely perfect. This will be but despite only really being one name today for me, this will be one of the best days for me this month. Just simple trading on AMD, simple outs there on Robux, like getting out of the way on Palantir, like that's positive, despite being where it is right now. And the move is happening, Neil. So
the dump that happened on Tesla is happening on the two additions. I actually. What's AVOX? AVOX. I haven't looked at that stock.
No, AXOM.
AXON. It's not. It's AXON. AXON. Look, you're pulling in. You're getting into VWAP. There's 15 minutes or 14 minutes till those imbalances come in. So this is what happened when Tesla was in addition to the S&P, and you're seeing the same thing: rally into the close, rally into the afternoon, and a sell-off. So the idea is I want to be long, but I am not going to sit in one that just continues to flounder. And so both those names are pulling back. What's interesting is, well, you'd say, okay, well, are the deletions going up? Nope. Still going sideways. Hasn't broken down. SMCI has not broken down just yet. The only things we're in, like, you finally got to VWAP without breaking on Intel. I would suspect there might, Intel might have some, I didn't see it on any list, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was a sell, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it's probably on that list.
Yeah, I didn't see this list I looked at, I didn't see, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sell. But at the same time, always, regardless, tighten stops, take profit before 350, because regardless of the direction, they're all going to be big numbers. Pretty much all the big names are going to have like a wick one direction or the other, and you don't necessarily want to be caught. Toronto? That's all. Like, just don't get caught anywhere, guys. You want to make sure that you're keeping it in pocket. I found nothing about this. The early look names, it's still the same two that are big. Cliffs and SOJD, which does absolutely no volume. Pfizer is now a big buy at 14. You got KSS at a 13. You're starting to see a few names start to fill it in there, like Nike 6.4. Like the names that are over $1 million, it's only going to grow and grow and grow. But what you don't see, because these are all New York stocks, is none of the Mag 7. Right? Those are all NASDAQ stocks. There's no early look at what these are going to be on a NASDAQ stock. You just find out at 350. So that's why for Palantir, for MSTR, SMCI, you gotta play it by ear. We'll know really quickly which direction it came out at.
Now,
like at 350, you have the stock up, and you pretty much aren't going to have to guess. You don't have to look. You'll be able to know whether it came out a buy or not on some of those. That's why we're watching things like Palantir.
Actually, no word of a lie. I've been using eSignal for over 22 years, and they have an imbalance locator. I've used it before on eSignal. So there you go. So if you are looking for something that can help you with these imbalances that are coming out, probably too late today to sign up for an account, but you can do it right now so you can join us next week and the week after that for all of these imbalance orders. They are available on eSignal as well. So trade smarter, not harder. Get the best trading platform right now. It's a wide array of tools. Scan the QR code. It'll take you right there. Let them know Trader TV Live sent you the best data, the cleanest data, the best back testing, second charts, minute charts, all that, tick charts, any kind of chart you are looking for, bar charts even, Neil. Can you believe that? Candlestick charts. Charts that change the game. Back testing and scanning is what it's all about. You can't find opportunities if you don't have reliable data. This is an entitlement-based system. So if you're tired of using other charting platforms that maybe only chart ETFs or things like that, this one, you are in control of what you look at. That is eSignal. Everything you need, all in one place. I trade with eSignal.
Well read, sir.
That was not even a read, Neil. That's the whole point.
Well, that's what it's called. I mean, yeah. Well, there isn't the script for that.
Impromptu.
There isn't the script for that.
Right there, yeah. Every time I come back here, I always see these papers lying around because people are reading scripts around here.
There's one over there for Obes.
Joe's got it. Joe, show the scripts, man. Show the scripts. The only scripts the only ones I'm reading are the ones I'm filling out. You know what I'm saying? Filling out those scripts.
No, the best script is the NFL script. That's the one you need.
Yeah, that's what I need, yeah. I had that script. Oh boy.
Oh, what? We all have that
That'd be
script.
rich as hell.
We all have that script, and it is that the
Packers.
Kansas City Chiefs are going to get a bunch of calls so they can get home field advantage. Patrick Mahomes is going to have an ankle injury somewhere in the last quarter of the season. Mahomes is going to hurt his ankle.
Yep.
Threatening to miss some time. Look it up. It's happened pretty much every single year. And then they will weasel their way into the AFC Championship game
Well, not weaseling their way in.
against either Joe Burrow
They have to win somehow.
or Josh Allen. This year will be Josh Allen.
I just hope there's no possibility of running into each other before the AFC Championship. Is that possible?
Not everything is set. Like the
What
Bills
is the
have won
Ravens?
Bills have won the division.
I think the
already.
Bills have clinched
The Bills have
one
clinched
or
the division.
two, and I
Bills
think
have clinched the division. But
Well,
it's still,
obviously,
but it's
you know
up
the
in the
division
air.
you guys are in, bro.
I think 2 is still up in the air
we're getting
mathematically, but it's not gonna.
okay. I just don't want to get. I want to see that the AFC finals. Like
I don't think
that's-
it's a lock yet, but it's
Okay.
like it might as well be. That's the best way to put it.
okay.
It might
So
as
that's
well.
good. So hopefully
Bills
that'll
aren't
happen.
gonna. Yeah,
Bills are fine. The Bills play joke of a schedule.
That's what I'm saying. Like we got Patriots, we got the Jets. It's like we're gonna
Jets, Patriots,
win out.
Jets, something like
We're gonna win out. It's just it hasn't happened yet. But technically.
Man, okay. All right, so 3:40. So we are now 10 minutes away. Let's have a quick
right,
look
go time.
at any of the imbalances right now that have been out on the New York. So they're all pretty much the same, honestly. Like, I'm not going to consider anything on here significant until it actually flies through. So all of these can get paired off really, really easily. Like a Pfizer imbalance, look, it's something. It's 9 million shares. It's done 37 on the day, but the stock is like ignoring it. So that's not that important. At 350, when the NASDAQ imbalances come out, that's when it's all going to start to sing. So I'm actually going to, so I don't forget, I'm going to close these broker ones because I don't care about those. Those are the early look. I'm just going to look at NYSE and NASDAQ. So you can see right here, the time is 9:30. As soon as 350 hits, these are all going to be updated again. Like Rangu, I guess, must have halted at some point. Look at Rangu over here. I don't know what this stock is. $10. Oh, this could be a SPAC.
That's a SPAC.
Yeah, it could be a SPAC. So they haven't updated this imbalance since 9/10/21 right there. What's up, Rangu? Apple had a sell imbalance earlier on in the day, of course. So that's just how it works and how it looks. So we'll have to keep watching out for that. So, all right, so we'll get that back in when it goes. All right, Palantir may have had a dip. I still don't, at this point, guys, I'm not going to really trust anything until my eyes see it for themselves. So I think we'll just wait. We only have 8 minutes now. We can kill 8 minutes, no problem, because this is the market, and we love the market. SMCI, I'm thinking this is not going to be a big imbalance, but whenever I think like that, it might just be the other way. Like, why is SMCI doing nothing when we're expecting that add delete there in the NASDAQ? Like, does it deserve to be added? Does it deserve to be deleted? Like, it's one of the earliest ones being added, then deleted again. So we're going to wait to see what winds up happening here with SMCI into the close there today. MSTR goes as Bitcoin goes. So I'm not expecting too many moves there. And Bitcoin's been hovering around 97,000. We actually talked about shorting IBIT if it ever got near the high of the day. Remember, we said we prefer the short. That didn't really come into play there. We were looking at this level. We said you could play off the 50 period. So that one was a good idea, and I'm tired of ideas because we just talk about them until you put them on. It's just an idea, but it was a good one, and we could have had it there. Just didn't love it as much. Was waiting for that. So Bitcoin, nice move back into the downside. At this point, with only a few minutes left, I believe it's worth waiting for a second. I'm going to go run. That coffee is not sitting well. I'm going to go get a quick thing of water. You already have.
My water is good, so
Okay,
I'm locked and loaded. Look, we got 7 minutes. This is the time. A lot of times you might still be trading on like a normal day. I wouldn't mind up until like 3:47 or something, but on a day like today, like nothing new is going in there, and that's what it's all. That's what it's all about. It's a bit of a different day for the imbalances. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm basically locked and loaded for a few names. What I have done is it's like throw a stink bid and tighten up a stop on Rivian, right? Like it's an obvious place where to put it. So we're bouncing off VWAP. If we break this local consolidation, I'm out. If it flushes, I have a bid that's covering me, and I can come back to that at any moment. And I'm doing the same thing with that Intel short. Like it's at VWAP. I've now tightened my stop. So if it gets back above 45, we're going to get out. I might tighten that to 40, to be honest with you, unless I already did. Checks, and yeah, I still have it at 46. So I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit more. If we break down, great. I'd look for something in the 20 range. Just want to, if it comes out of sell imbalance, I'll just get swept up. If it comes out of buy imbalance or pops in the next couple of minutes, then I just get out of that reversion short. And then everything else will just be very, very patient, looking to see what happens on these imbalances. Jameson asking, is NEM a buy? I mean, I can look for anything in particular. Remember, there's a lot of symbols in the NASDAQ and the New York, right? So to find an individual one, there's literally no better way than just sorting it alphabetically. And the early look on NEM, it better be a New York stock. You're not going to get any data on it. Right now it's a 2 million. Right now the early look is a 2 million buy on NEM. So for whomever asked, and I don't see you in the chat anymore because we scrolled past it. But 2 million to buy on NEM. But just remember, everything is going to have big imbalances one way or another. A lot of names are going to have big imbalances. Cliffs is starting to pair off. That was 19 million to the sell side. Now it's only 10. That's not nearly as big as it was before. But with 5 minutes to go, you've got MSTR going into the NASDAQ 100. This is what it's doing. I mean, I guess if you bought 350 instead of waiting for VWAP, you'd be in the money. I liked it when we came in this afternoon. I'm like, okay, my first shot going in for the close trade was going to be off the prior high. Like if it can hold that level, I'm like, hey, we can hold that level. We'd have room to play into here, and then you have lots of room to the upside. So I'm going to favor the long, but here's the key. If at 350, MSTR is 17 million sell, or Palantir is 8 million sell, well, you don't have to go long. You know, this is just what people are expecting that's going to happen here. If SMCI is a big buy imbalance and when the stock's being deleted, well, I'm not gonna punch short. You know, I'm not saying I'd go into the long either, but oftentimes you want to be in the right direction. But just because you're expecting something here with the imbalances doesn't mean it has to go in that direction. And I was asked in the chat, where do you get it? The imbalance locator is piped in that here at Real Trading. It's embedded in our platform, right? So we just literally have a widget that we can open up, and I have like multiple. I have one up here. I can open up 3 of them if I want to. But you have to keep in mind. Merry Christmas. Yo! Oh, are you kidding me?
Merry Christmas!
Get out of here! Get out of here, bro!
What's going on,
right.
brother?
You came at such a
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! Oh,
man.
Look what else we got today. Some prosecco, my guy over
Now
there.
we got it good. Oh,
where'd you get that purple? I like that purple.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I want to show the logo, but obviously Canada Post, is
FedEx.
Canada Post had their problems.
Yeah.
And I know. Imbalances are coming, so I figured, I'll come through, bring the panettone for the crew.
Yes, man.
Merry Christmas.
It's
Hopefully
Luke.
everybody's doing well. I don't know where the
Luke
chat
Sharif's
is,
not
but
here to see you,
yeah.
man.
Oh, he's not here today?
Well, he's here today,
off.
but the guys go
okay,
work out.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And,
Anyways, I know it's imbalance time, so Merry
Okay.
Christmas, everyone.
Well, we'll see
Happy
you after.
holidays,
All right,
and
that's Luca,
enjoy.
ladies and gentlemen. Luca, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Here, go.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut up.
Yeah, cut it up.
yeah, we got to get to.
All right, man. Thank
I
you.
could
Wow.
eat some panettone.
Things people these days. That's very
it's
nice.
great to see. I love
The best ever host right there, Luca,
with
over
it.
there.
That's what you got to do. Make some
Yeah.
French toast. It's so good.
Man,
Now I'm hungry.
Panettone is so damn
Now I'm
good.
hungry.
All right,
Poker
guys, let's
just got
spin the money trade right now because we're not shy about anything right now, and we are in to this one. Palantir, I don't know. We'll try. We're in it pretty small here. We said that we didn't want to be in anything, but now that I see Luca, now that I see all these guys here, let's just try to figure it out. Try to figure out how many shares we want to do. Try to figure out what we're in right now. If I'm going to take it, I'm in like 5% or something of what I'd be in right now. So let's just wait to see if there's any sort of blow up right there. Man, Luca distracted me, man. I had 20 cents in the money there. But there it is. Let's see what happens right now. Back up there to the upside on this name. So Palantir getting ready to blast off, really. What were the other names? So SMCI. I'm just trying to check in on some of the obvious ones. So we talked about that going through. And then it was W-Day was going to be another name coming in and out there as well. Workday. I actually lost that sheet.
Apollo's the other big one.
Apollo was the other one.
APO is the other big one.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't lose the sheet. I just couldn't find it in my tabs here. So there it is right there. PLTR, MSTR. Moderna was the name that I was thinking could be a tradable name because of the value of it, only $40-something. So right there, Moderna being removed, SMCI, Illumina, and then Palantir, MSTR, and Axon. So
And then the S&P 500 has some ones. So Workday is the S&P 500 edition. Apollo's the S&P 500 edition as well. Well, I can just throw it up there. We still have a minute to go. That's it. It's an eternity. Zooming in. fine there. So Workday and Apollo were a couple of big ones in there to the upside. And the ones to the downside, not anything that we usually look at. I think those are the ones you want to pay attention to, Apollo and Workday, with just under 1 minute to go. So obviously, we know
I'm getting anxious.
This is the thing. Everyone always gets anxious for this moment. But it's
spaghetti.
pretty simple. If the addition comes out as a buy, that's good. If it comes out as a sell, well, you don't have much to do, which is fine.
What's Moderna doing?
Which is fine. So just have the right symbols up, whatever you're looking at. We'll be able to let you know what it comes out as. You'll see it live on either one of our locators in like 30 seconds.
Downside move.
Moderna's falling already.
Yeah, Moderna's falling already. So we're going to have this in just a matter of time here where we'll have something going on. So it's Moderna. The one that I think we should probably look at is Palantir. We're in the position. There's only 15 seconds now. My stop is 78 break. If it breaks that 78 bottom, we're out. That could easily happen here if this is a sell imbalance. So again, we're not going to layer into this thing until maybe near more the end of this trade. So here we go. Let's watch it. Okay, look at that huge move down. It must be a sell, I'm guessing here. Palantir sell.
11
12
million
million shares to sell.
You got it.
Yeah. So I'm here.
Broadcom, 16 million to sell.
So Oppo Taco right there. So we're in it. We just took another long down here at this level. Fine by me, but Palantir right now a sell. Starting to pair off already. So that's a nice little move. Broadcom, whoop, to the downside right there as that goes. Tesla. Whoop, downside as well right there. Nvidia. Boom, right here. I don't care about all that. We are long right now on Palantir. We're long at 78.85.
Yeah, most of those names, like that's obviously the other direction for sure, no question about it. Broadcom, like we said, is going to be a big one. You did also have Cisco was another big 6.8 million to the sell side in there.
Oh boy.
And then Tesla, of course, being a nasty one. I didn't see MSTR at all. So I haven't seen MSTR. I'm gonna have to scan for that one. It must be way down on the list. And I did not see SMCI either, so we have to scan further down on the list. It really is.
Let's go
Palantir move. Remember,
let's go, Alex.
Just because it comes out one direction or another does not mean it has to move in the direction of the imbalance. It can still go higher, everybody. But with it the wrong direction, I'm not taking a trade until it gets closer to 355. It had to be in the right direction for me to go early.
Let's go. Nice trade here on Palantir, obviously, as it gets going back up to the upside. So we're getting out right now at 79. We're getting out of some of it. We're still in 80% of this trade on Palantir. Let's just give it some room. Remember where our stop is, right? So the fact that we're starting to get some out so we can start to change our stop a little bit. But Palantir, nice little dip by opportunity. We just wanted to buy those, I think it was 50s. We were just sitting there waiting to buy it. So again, we're not trying to put on too much risk on the downside. Where was my buy on Palantir there? 78.50 exactly, yeah. So okay, so good so far. All right, so now we'll wait to see where it goes, but that's what's happening right there. Let's check out Moderna. Is anything else happening? Remember, it's still a sell.
MSTR is a small sell, very small.
Yeah, so very disappointing, man. Moderna must have gone the other way. So again, like the algos, like everything that we're showing you is kind of common knowledge, right? Like that's why we don't have a problem sharing it all with you. We're not trying to give you the direction of the trade. We're just trying to show you that this is what was supposed to happen.
And Moderna's a buy.
There's Palantir. Addition. Net shares, 46 million. Instead, it comes out there. Well, now it's getting lower and lower here. It's probably, I don't even know where it is anymore, but it did come out a sell of 12 million shares. So whatever it is at the end of the day, Broadcom probably continuing, right? It's not pairing off. Like Palantir right here, Palantir is finding buyers. Look at this. Palantir came out like a 65 million sell. It actually was almost complete opposite right there, starting to pair off. I think Palantir moons from here. Let's wait to see where it goes. So far, so good on PLTR long. We're at the high of the day. We're really smoking right now. Downside for AMD, upside for Palantir. What's up, A?
Nice little bounce here for DJT with volume. Still down about 1.5% on the day, but it's still the largest volume candle in the 3 minutes since about 10:30 a.m. Basically, the only thing I'm seeing on this, which I just heard in my ear, is apparently Fed's Barr, so Michael Barr of the U.S. FOMC, has apparently sought legal advice in case Donald Trump seeks to remove him. I'm not really sure why he believes this will happen, but keep an eye here on DJT, which is nonetheless getting another strong volume handle here to the upside as we head into the close. Back to you. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Thank you very much, Adair. Just for a recap, if you're wondering, Moderna came out a buy despite the fact that it's a delete. 2 million buy. MSTR was flat. It was like a couple thousand shares to the sell side. Broadcom notionally is like the biggest imbalance, I believe, in terms of actual dollars. Broadcom's imbalance of like $7.5 million on a $200 stock would be the most significant for sure. So we're about to hit 355. Now remember, like that's when it locks in over on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, but you can't go the right way on Palantir, right? It's you could put a market on closed sell in here still. Can you?
Before 55?
You could go either way on it? I thought you had to go the same way because it did come out as sell on it. But anyways, okay. At the end of the day, right now, it's starting to go upside. So we're in this name, and it's going to be a big one. It is sending us to the highs of the day net-wise. So coming out right now, Palantir, let's just see how far it can go from here. Looks like it wants to go higher and higher and higher. So yeah, so far so good on PLTR, trying to get into these levels. So yeah, we'll wait to see. Nice little move higher here. PLTR starting to go upside now. Palantir up and away, Neil. Does look like it wants to continue higher.
Yeah, it's absolutely blasting. My hands are, oh, it did flip. It's a flip.
Yeah, man, we're huge into this name right now. All right, so we'll just sit on this. We'll wait for that closing imbalance. Although it just went up into 80, we did put the order out. I don't know if it's going to accept. It's just with the orders I have, shares I have right now. So
It'll be good.
Yeah, all right. So it's still there. Limit order is still in there. So right now we are more than $1 in the money right now. Do you have this Palantir? No, you're not in it yet. Okay. So we're more than $1 in on Palantir right now. Let's just let this go. This is exactly the trade. We're here. The people's trader is here. We talked about taking this trade. There it is right there. So we give you $3 on AMD. We're giving you $1.50 right now on Palantir. So let's go, Neil. Big, huge trade here on Palantir into the close. Could this burn up into my face? Yes, it can. And we'll wait to see if it does that. So we'll wait here into the close.
It's growing still.
Palantir still starting to run upside now. Let's just give it a second. Let it settle down. We've had a lot of fun. We were able to get some out right here. We still have 75% of the trade, so hopefully it can go. People are saying, what's up with Meta? Did Meta...
Didn't see it.
585. So Meta was a sell. Like a lot of these tech names were sells. And I mean, if you're going to ride with us, you might as well ride with us. We or at least... I'm in the position right now, but we had sort of talked about some of these net sells that were going to be coming in. Where's that damn list? Here it is right here. Look, Meta, the second biggest name on this list. Broadcom was right. Floss it off. That was right. Broadcom came as a sell, right? So there's 5 million sell, Meta sell, Apple sell, Tesla sell. They're starting to bleed down. Wow, here we go. Palantir, let's go, baby. Big trade alert. We don't have the hat on, but we got a big trade alert. It's starting to go upside. It's Palantir. Rip. Now $2, $1.50 in the money. We're just going to chill out here. We got another 3 minutes, and then we see where this one winds up.
Yeah, it's still going. And by the way, it's actually a buy and bounce. So what didn't right at 355, it was out the wrong way. It was a sell imbalance. But if you go long, it could flip. And this one was a flip. So it did go the right direction. That's why the order accepted. And of course, MSTR is not on the list, so nothing burger for me on MSTR. Unfortunately, like it looks like it's only Palantir that's the biggie. And as you can see here, like it's by far of the names that you were expected, it's the only one on the board on the top is going to be PLTR. MSTR kind of I call it a disappointment. Like it's moving, but it's not mooning, and it came out the wrong way. SMCI did move down, but SMCI moved down 40 pennies. That's nothing. And the imbalance was absolutely nothing. So the one to watch is going to be Palantir. I told you, I'm off unless this thing comes out the right way and gives you the entry point. The history of take it the wrong direction, it's not my cup of tea. I'm glad you're in it, and it's certainly working. And at this point, I can't remember the last time I've seen something that came out the wrong direction, flip big to the right direction, and didn't work. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen that happen. So I think it's pretty safe, of course, taking the closing print, as opposed to anything can happen in the aftermarket.
Yeah, I mean, I should be here on the closing print, so we will see what winds up happening. And yeah, again, we saw Palantir. It came into a level. It did come a sell. It did exactly what we sort of thought it would. We had said most likely would possibly come out the wrong way. I mean, we saw the way it was acting, so we were just kind of buying, and then I don't know if it's luck or not. We sat there, took the fill, came in. I mean, I probably should have took more shares. That's the only thing that's unlucky about this. As we continue to go higher up right now, not much else happening. I mean, there are lots of things happening, but for me, it's all about this. Let's wait to see what's going on with NVIDIA just really quick. Like, I'm going to have to watch this Palantir trade. So NVIDIA, not much happening into the close, honestly, up $1. Like, we've got $2 on Palantir right now. So yeah, we're good. Tesla right now, wow. Tesla getting down $10.
420.
Yeah, 420 just bounced again right there. So whether or not you believe in a little bit of 420, you may want to participate in something like that tonight as a celebratory event right now. But here it goes upside right now for Palantir. It's $2. Your boy has it, man. And we're happy for that. We got to see Luca here. Lots of old traders. Yannick's in the building. We've got Joe's here. Hopefully maybe Sharif's coming back. Adara's in the building as well.
Poker night brings them in.
Yeah, exactly. So brings all the boys to the yard, and damn right, Palantir, I don't have an end for that. Okay, here we go, Palantir. We're just really excited, only 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, with less than 20 seconds to go, it's just a matter of where they print at this point. So in 10 seconds, we'll get the camera off us and throw on to Adara. That's on, there it is. Closing bell, brought to you by Adara in 4, 3, 2, and 1.
I just got to make sure I get.
You're accepted. 65? No.
Was that the final print? Because, yeah, see, I didn't get it. That's what I'm saying.
65? I thought I saw 65.
Well, how big of a print was that? Yeah, that's probably is the print. There we go. We got it. So it just came in now. Yeah. So late fill. Bang!
Late
that's
fill.
What we're talking about on that hot dog cannon right there to end the day. Palantir. We make them sing. We already talked about having a big, huge day. Then there it is, right there at the close. You know, this is why you trade prop. You trade props so you can take shares. You can take opportunities like this. And there it goes, straight there to the upside. That's your banger of the month. That's your, you know, we did this last time. We had some huge trades on that NU. I took that NU, and that was an absolute monster. So please join me and Neil all the time on these imbalances. I can't do it any better. Cannot. The bottom to the top there for Palantir. I'm actually going to just screen cap this thing because there's the move upside. Let's screen cap it because there is the print right there at the end of the day. $80.50, exactly as we thought. Palantir upside, on a rebalance upside, good trade there. Out in the pre-market, out in the aftermarket on that closing print. And to all, a good night. I'll see everybody on the recap show.
Yeah, the recap's going to be fire. Remember, after these imbalances, there's usually a lot of activity in the aftermarket for like the next 5-10 minutes on the names that had big imbalances. Why? Because some people done screwed up and they might still be in position and you get a lot of covering. So you are seeing like Tesla, which closed, where's the close? I have it as 420.5, tanked to 18 and continuing to go back higher. Palantir's pulled back into 80. MSTR is still making some moves. This actually did close at the highs. Under the radar, Apple made another all-time high close today. So Apple, I didn't even see it on the imbalances, but obviously Apple's been a rocket ship. Apple's been a very underrated rocket ship, but closing at an all-time high. SMCI was the other one. I'd say disappointment over an SMCI. Like, it barely moved. You got 1% out of it to the downside. It closed technically up 1%. And then the other one was Moderna. Moderna was the other deletion. Moderna closed on the lows, dumped off the 40 level. The issue is the imbalances on all of those names, all four of them, did come out in the wrong direction. So you had to basically anticipate it. Like, you could have just thrown it in there and say, hey, I think it's going to flip, and then go in the other direction. We still have the aftermarket show, which will be just in a couple of minutes there with Sean and Adara. Though getting locked and loaded and ready, obviously trading into the close on Palantir, you have to make sure that you get that print. On the off chance it doesn't go through, there's plenty of liquidity to be able to get out. Well, I want to give a special shout out, not just to Ramin, but also to Fabian, because Fabian was in pain today, the whole day. Fabian, you could see him walking around and he gutted it out. So I want to give a big shout out to both of our fantastic crew. And of course, Andre, he's always hard at work. Right now, he's putting together some more videos for socials that should come out on the weekend. So thank you to Andre. Big shout out to the midday crew, doing a great job as always. Sharif's taken off, but Joe's still here. They had another banger. I love that idea of the playmaker trade, and it's been a lot of fun following that. Of course, at the desk, you're going to see Adara, and we always, it's a pleasure to have Brennan as well on that news desk. I want to thank Michael Noss for coming out this morning. But most importantly, everybody, I want to thank you guys. It's always a heck of a lot more fun doing it in front of a fantastic community. And that's what we have in front of us is the best community out there. So with that, sit back and relax. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is chill out and go from here to there. It's the market recap. It's Sean. It's Adara. And it's going to be a fun one. Lots to cover.
Hello. Really quickly, before we introduce the market recap, thank you, Sean. We're going to talk about ARM and Qualcomm because these two are making distinctly different moves. One to the upside, one to the downside. Qualcomm up here. ARM down about almost 2%. Now it's over 2%. Basically, we're seeing some reports here that a jury found that Qualcomm did not breach NUVIA's license agreement with ARM. So they found that Qualcomm's custom CPUs are licensed under its deal with ARM. So basically, Qualcomm being found, I guess, not negligible or not liable, not breaching its contract. So great look here for QCOM. ARM, though, ARM falling to the downside on this. We did have reports earlier from Reuters that we were expecting a verdict soon. Now we have that verdict coming in right at 4 p.m. These are going to be two tickers to watch out for come Monday. How are you doing today, Sean? Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Market Recap Show and what's been a very eventful day. It's like the last Friday before Christmas for the market, and we had imbalances. So what else? Congrats on that PLTR trade, Sean.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm just going to log in to get that Palantir trade going because it was a pretty doozy trade there to close the day. All right, man, all the markets. I mean, a couple days ago, every single index. Yo, Luca, over here. Every single index over the last couple days seemed to be red. Luca, don't stop at Ramin. Immediately over here. What?
Don't stop at Ramin.
This guy's got the Panettone. Now he's back on the air. We really like that one. Although I can't, that's too big of. Okay, I'll cut it in half.
You can have after cut it in half.
I like to get you a mic. Maybe go get a mic. All right, let's get out of here. All right. Well, thank you, Luca, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's here. So all the boys. No, watch out. Going right through the shot. That's okay. All right, you're out there. Good. Thanks, Luca. Yeah, all the boys coming back through here today. It's going to be a nice little holiday party, as you can see, and it was a party in the market today. XLK, nice upside move. Nice move upside in the SPY, the Dow Jones. Did we have a red market? Let me just call up my little market.
I couldn't find a red sector earlier today.
Okay.
But things could have changed.
Yeah, no, I mean, consumer staples, green, XLI. Look, this is all right here. Broad sector watch. I mean, I don't even really see any red symbols, to be honest with you there, Adara. So a big, big day there market-wide. We can quickly look at the stock heat map to find something. There has to be something. Oh, boy. This is a bad idea, getting this Panettone over here.
Yeah.
Because, there's all this icing sugar on it, and it's just going to go everywhere. And, yeah, here, you just take it away. Because it's way too tempting right there.
Okay, I've never seen anyone more eager to take anything than Ramin was to steal that Panettone. She was like,
have you seen her move faster than that ever? We could be having so many technical issues. It would just be like, oh, I'll get to it. I'll get around to it.
I think the funniest too is remember one time I had walked in because I went on a really quick Sav run. I came back right before the market opened, and then someone was like, "Oh, is it Ramin?" And then Sharif was like, "No, because you've never seen Ramin walk that fast."
Right. See.
Not my comments. That's what Sharif said, Ramin. Yeah, I will fully say that's what Sharif said. I'm just relaying what was said. I was just walking. It wasn't my fault. But yeah, shout out to our whole community. Shout out to Ramin, Fabian, Andre.
I want to say thank you, everybody, for watching. We do have Raider Trader planning on coming through. So Raider Trader talked about some volatility coming this day. And he's right. I mean, their volatility was huge, right? There we go. Just seeing more and more. Is that? Oh, that's not Max. Okay. All right. So more traders coming through. More and more. All right. So quickly, let's get back on track. Thank you so much for everybody for joining us one more time here today. You don't have to be here, but you choose to stay late. So we want to thank you for that again, over and over and over again. So thank you so much. We did have those imbalances at the end of the day. What did it do? It created some action. So let's just have a quick little look there. I'm still not logged in to P-Pro 8 to show you my trade on Palantir, but right at the end of the day, oh no, PLTR. Why is this not working? I think I'm completely frozen. Are we off air? No. Okay. All right. So I'm frozen for now. Do you have anything over there? Quickly, let me just make sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to see if there's
My
any.
chat's not even moving anymore. Okay.
Is Raider here? Okay, we're gonna
don't have
wait.
to go to him yet.
We're gonna see Raider Trader very soon, guys. I'm sure that'll be really exciting. I know he was in the chat a little bit earlier today, as he usually does, to warm us up. There was a lot on watch today, lots of earnings plays. FedEx was a huge one. I was dabbling in FedEx a little bit. That was pretty fun. There was also that Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly move today with its weight loss drug. So it's new. What was it? CagriSema, which is a combination of this cagrilintide and semaglutide. Apparently, this hybrid drug not as, I guess, beneficial as we thought in this initial trial, basically finding that it did not have as much weight reduction as was expected. I can see Raider Trader, though, in the green room, so we're going to get all queued up there very soon. You're still doing okay over there, Sean?
Yeah, I've actually reloaded it and loaded back in. So I'm just going to take one more minute if you do not mind.
Yeah, no worries. We're going to keep.
Just want to make sure. Yeah, see, an exception has occurred. Okay, that's fine. I might not have our trade ideas charting over here.
That's okay. No worries. I have
so I'm just trying to log into
charts
ours.
up here for trade ideas. ARM actually making a really nice recovery. I'll pull this up. Look at this bounce here. At lows, we hit 123.50s. Now we're hanging out around 130s. Let's take a look at Qualcomm. In case you missed it, a jury found that Qualcomm did not violate its agreement here with ARM with its Nuvia license. So QCOM pulling back a little bit from its reaction high as well, which was 163, currently trading around 156. So again, both Qualcomm and ARM are absolutely going to be on watch for next week. And honestly, this level on Qualcomm, this 154, looks kind of interesting. This was certainly a level of resistance going back to Wednesday post-market. We saw it coming into play a little bit midday today as well. So keep an eye on that mid 154s as we head into Monday.
So we're back. Thank you, Adair. Yeah, we're back ready to rock and roll. We are now loaded up. Everything's good to go right now. This was that trade right at the end of the day. We did have Palantir came out a sell in balance, which gave us the opportunity to take advantage of that dip buy opportunity there on Palantir. And you could see, as they say, the rest is sort of history as we started buying some of these dips right in the afternoon on Palantir. It gets added to the NASDAQ today, and this goes boom, goes the dynamite right there to the upside. So that long is 78.50. That out is 80.50. That is a $1 and a $2 winner right there on Palantir for the end of the day. Make sure you join us back here every single rebalance day. If I ever see opportunities like that, I'm going to hit it. We've been doing it a couple times now. Both times I did it on New Bank or New Holdings, and we did it here on Palantir again today. Big trade, the biggest I think of the week right there, net wise. So that's good. We'll take it. It's not all about net, but you want to have winning trades. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you put in the right amount of shares into the right opportunities. So there we go on that one. I just did want to quickly talk about some of the heat map here, just because there was a couple interesting names to quickly look at. Meta. Meta was a big sell into the close.
Oh, yeah.
So I did want to look at that. Tesla also, big sell into the close. So if we're going to look at what those charts just look like real quick here. So Tesla right now below that infamous 420. Well, it was right down there, 418. Look at the push at the end of the day on Tesla to bring this back into that 420 level off of a 430 high. Nice move back in there for Tesla. We saw Meta, as per the research that we gave you, Meta was the second biggest name on the sell side imbalance. Pre-imbalance is actually coming out. So what does Meta do? It goes, yup, we'll take that, and flushes right there at the end of the day. 596 down to 585. $10 straight down and giving you that 50-period moving average gift right there for Meta. So what did Broadcom do then at the end of the day? Broadcom was the single largest sell side imbalance, and it said, yup, as well. So look, all you had to do was be watching here. Like, Neil didn't have anything on, that's fine. Maybe didn't set up for everybody. But Broadcom was the #1 sell on our screen today. That came off as a huge sell at the end of the day. 226 down to 220. Give us $5. Tesla, big sell. Meta, big sell. We talked about that. Palantir was a big buy. What did Moderna do at the end of the day? That was also a rebalance trade as well. Moderna goes, whoop, to the downside as well. That was a big sell. So a couple of these really starting to pay off. What was on the upside was Workday, Day, and then Illumina as well. So let's see what Workday does at the end of the day. So again, from 350, it looks like you did get a downside push of 272. Looks like the closing trade, I'm not even sure it's come through yet on NASDAQ. Maybe not that much volume, but at the end of the day, makes a nice little $2 move up. kind of muted there on W day. Yeah, that's sort of the stock heat map right there. Just to look at a couple different names that were popping off. Of course, we did have, as a late day mover, I'm just going to call up the bigger chart for you right here. So let's just have a quick look at ARM and Qualcomm. You brought that news to us.
Yeah.
So ARM to the downside there up to 125, but now battling back a little bit. Qualcomm, the mover. Do you remember what it was?
So basically the story here was we had heard early reports from Reuters that we were waiting on a decision in that trial. Basically, ARM accusing Qualcomm of violating its license agreement with using this Nuvia-related chip. I'm going to get the exact headline. So here's the exact headline. So basically, Qualcomm was, at 4 p.m., we found out that Qualcomm had been ruled by a jury to not have breached Nuvia's license agreement with ARM. So that was what the thing was. ARM accused Qualcomm of violating its Nuvia license agreement. A jury found that nope, Qualcomm's all good there. ARM dropped, Qualcomm popped, but they both kind of stabilized a little bit since then.
All right. Without any further ado, if we're ready, CEO of Ohio, otherwise known as the Raider Trader, the man, the myth, the legend.
Indeed.
Some say the best pirate. Remember when he was here on Halloween?
With that very accurate pirate costume.
He's robbing from the rich and giving to the poor quite often. It's Trader Talk. Let's bring him on. It's Andrew Raider. Welcome back, Andrew. You promised that you would come back on this very, very exciting week. We had Fed. You put some tweets out. I want to talk about that. We also today had those rebalances. We had the witching come through there today. What an exciting week. Did you survive?
Oh, I survived all right. Of course, no one could have predicted such a big drop, but such a big drop or a drop in general was predicted. We talked about it a lot, and there's lots more to talk about moving forward. So excited to chat today, that's for sure.
Exactly. So we had, and everybody in the chat, if you have any questions for Andrew, we can start talking about them. He had some great information for us last week or maybe, I think it was last Friday. We had looked forward to.
The 6th, yep.
The 6th, yeah, exactly. So last Friday, we're looking forward to, or is that 2 Fridays ago? What day is it anymore? I don't even know. 2 Fridays ago right now. So why did we like this? We talked about seasonality. We talked about coming in, and you had mentioned it. So, kudos to you, bang, on that one. If we're looking at the triple Qs, man, did we have a little bit of a pullback there. With the Fed, why did we go down? I mean, it was expected the quarter point, right? So we got the quarter point. Did that surprise you? What are you looking for now moving forward? And yeah, what was up with that move?
So yeah, I just want to talk about this. A lot of guys, they look to these Fed meetings and they try to read in between the lines and all these things. And what I really want to emphasize is that while news can be the tipping point of just the push for the ball down the hill, what actually causes the moves is the mechanics of the market. And I say this, all you want to fundamental traders, people reading into what the Fed are saying, that the Fed can say one thing, but ultimately it's the mechanics of the market that takes over. And I say this all the time. There's a reason why GameStop was valued more than actual real businesses in the past. Why was it over $100, $200 a share at one point? It's because the mechanics of the market. Some things just aren't explained by fundamentals or logic with that. So specifically with the drop that we had with the Fed, while there was a change in expectation of from 4 cuts next year to maybe 2, we've already had changes in the expectation of the Fed with no dump. But what changed this time around was that no one was hedging. The markets were not prepared for any downside move. So all it took was a little bit of abnormal selling, a little bit of uncertainty, and that kicked off a bigger move, which caused that big sell-off, which we can talk about. And I have a lot of data to suggest what the next movements of the markets are going to be.
Okay, great. I mean, we do have, often traders are talking about Santa Claus rally. We could talk about statistically, whether or not that will hit or not this year. So that might be something to look at. But I think you're 100% right. I mean, I think that's a great example about GameStop. The market just moves wherever the money's going, right? If everyone's flowing one place, then that's what's going to happen. Great call on people being caught offside. I think because the expectation was just that quarter point, everyone's like, oh, okay, business as usual. But then he got a little, as we know, hawkish there about future rate cuts. And indeed, now it looks like January, we're going to get a complete stall on that. A name for us that we've been talking about that seems like we're catching a little bit of a falling knife, and I hate to always talk about this, but we always get questions about the energy space, and those that maybe weren't here a couple weeks ago. What is your opinion looking forward? Because right now, XLE, and maybe this has to do with your positioning moving into the new year, but XLE is at a pretty good low. You're almost back to being flat now on the year for XLE, coming right back into these levels. This is last February at $83. Matter of where you look at it, but we are going to be red for the year on some of these energy names. Is this a space that maybe can get going?
Yeah, so as far as energy, I've mentioned this before, but for everyone who's looking at such a trade, it is very crowded. It is a news-driven sector. All it takes is one headline, and you'll see 13, 14 days in a row of straight green buying. So while I don't think that right now is quite the time to get into it, maybe closer to that presidency, you will start to see some headlines hit once you start to get closer to the inauguration. But as far as what I want to talk about specifically, and this can kind of be a pivot, not just energy names, but defensive names next week, you'll definitely want to look at. If you kind of share my screen right now, we talked about this chart last week. It was the seasonal chart. And we said, or the week before, time is erased, that seasonals kind of said that we expect tech to underperform coming into after the 13th into quad witching. And we talked about that pin move. If you guys remember that we talked about, we were starting Max Payne on the 6th and that you expect downside past the 12th and 13th to eventually create some structure that looked like this. Big dump, pin in the middle for the expiration. That's just a classic maneuver that we talked about coming to the state. Now that you saw that big pump, but there is a big problem. You still aren't getting enough puts to really justify a macro bottom, at least for one that we want to see for adding to leap trades, things like that. And so right now you can actually see the put to call ratio. No one was really piling into puts again, which is a concerning sign of a continuation Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday of next week. I think Monday will definitely open flat, but you aren't seeing enough people pile into puts. So what you want to monitor is the PC ratio to hover around this 0.8 for 4 to 5 days, somewhere around this. You want to see these levels of puts being elevated. You want to see people coming in to hedge. If they're not, they're going to rug pull. They're going to continue this down, and you're not necessarily going to get that bottom that everyone wants. But in the meantime, as this uncertainty unfolds, as the VIX gets kind of slaughtered, once it starts to spike a little bit, you are going to see a rotation into defensives. My favorite? Well, if you just look at XLU, but also value names within the Dow Jones. If you actually look at the Dow Jones from bottom to top, this was one of the biggest movers from today. So definitely keep an eye on this one. And of course, squeeze names. I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Liking this.
But GameStop and Lunar, LUNR, are two names that I'm going to be watching into the 3rd of January. It's kind of crazy to say meme stocks are actually a trade, but it's absolutely in the playbook right now. You saw even today up 3%, 4% I think on GameStop, and 8% or so on Lunar. So those names are going to be what you want to watch into this new year. I think Santa Claus rally will come, but just not in the form that you expected, not to the major indices. It's going to be within the squeeze names and things like that if we do start to chop around these lower levels.
Yeah, we actually saw a good value name like a Caterpillar and things like that. You mentioned some of the industrials and some of the names that maybe are paying a little bit of a dividend. A Caterpillar was a great name that made a nice move to the downside. All right. Part of the thesis, of course, was the imbalance and the rebalancing and the witching and sort of this moment of time that we just had. Well, what it created was, and you had just mentioned, watch out for some meme stock kind of names. I actually am a holder of this, and we're going to talk about Palantir. I just wanted your opinion right here because it's trading at such a wild valuation, PLTR. And if you come over to the daily chart right now, we actually close on this date today, right now at the highs. Like we came back there. Now we're back, right back upside. For me, a little nerve-wracking because, again, part of this move was that imbalance there at the end of the day, which flipped over to a buy, which gave that great trade. I don't know if you saw this, Andrew, on Palantir, but this is what I did right there into the close. We bought the dip right where that imbalance came out at 78.50, and I know $2 isn't much, but in this world, it's pretty good. Rips all the way back up there to the upside, gives us that closing trade and balance right there out, but it's right here at the top. Do you have any stats or anything that you want to talk about maybe on what to look for day after, week after, maybe month after some of these names have been added to indexes?
Yeah, so historically, specifically with names that are added to indexes, you typically get a mixed bag with that. It's not always that clear. But we can talk about quad witching and historically what happens after that. Today, of course, if you guys don't know, is quad witching. Over $6 trillion of derivatives expire today. In that, of course, we've outlined over the last few weeks of how market makers kind of balance or prepare for this ahead of time. We talked about the shakeout. We talked about the max pain, what the structures that typically look like are before then. Now that we're at the special day, what are you likely to see moving forward? Well, seasonally speaking, you typically do get a pump the first week of January, but also one thing you can actually look forward to is after quad witching, you typically go up. With this much money expiring, you typically see a lot more money managers coming in and rebalancing, repositioning, putting new bets in for the next quarter, the next year. And so what you're going to see is some of these sectors get picked up a lot as this new wave of money starts to pile in. So what you want to look for is a very basic strategy. Go pull up a chart or a tool. You can use different tools that just compare performance between a time frame. I have some that I built by myself. You can find that in the Rate Report. Shameless self-promo. But as far as what you want to look for is the leaders and laggers. You want to find out who outperformed today. And based off who outperformed today, those names are likely going to continue next week if you are to long. So things like PLTR. If you do see a long opportunity next week, which to be honest, you can expect based off a slow grind up after quad witching, which is historically what happens, then you can actually expect the short squeeze names, the names like PLTR, the names like Beyond, BYND, Lunar, OKLO, or OKLO, OKLO, as well as GameStop and some of these other squeeze names. Just look for those names that close towards the high today. Even healthcare, one of the most beaten down sectors, one of the most shorted sectors, you are likely to see a pop in XBI, some of those other guys, major healthcare names like that, ABT, AMGN. So that's what you can actually look for. So that's what I'm preparing for. What you want to move forward to is prepare for a mixed bag. With the VIX getting slaughtered, you're likely not going to see necessarily the decay in put premiums that we saw yesterday, but what you want to prepare for is a mixed bag of let's go long small caps, let's go long those short squeeze names, but also let's prepare short on names like Meta. You saw that sell side imbalance I think you guys were talking about.
Yep.
There's a lot of weakness still in these mega caps that are not closing towards their highs. Stay away from Apple. Of course, that's a leader.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you for being here with us today. I know in the past you've talked pretty extensively about IWM and TNX. IWM definitely got hit pretty hard this week, especially with the Fed. Do you have any thoughts on either of those names right now, especially IWM, given that move we had this week?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about when I was actually in person with you guys a while ago. I mentioned this TNX at 4.2, and I want to talk about this because everyone on social media seems to be right, but let's talk about when we're wrong. So as far as the TNX, the TLT trade, things like that, I was wrong on the timing of this. I absolutely was. 100%. The timing of this trade was wrong. But in a different universe, it could have played out differently. And you can't beat yourself up over a wrong decision in the market. Were the factors and inputs to the equation going to give you the outputs that you typically try to get? And that's all we can do. We can only adjust the inputs. The outputs is ultimately something out of our control. And so what the inputs was, it wasn't that 4.2 was just a stupid level and that you can see that the reaction off of this 4.2 that we talked about just didn't go in our favor. So as far as IWM specifically and TLT, I was absolutely wrong on those ones. Moving forward, some different ideas around playing around those yields, things like that, is that the dollar, right? DXY, that one's starting to break out. But you saw a very negative reaction today, and I actually am going to research this weekend. I believe gold and silver will definitely have a long opportunity into the middle January expiration. So we'll be watching for that. But as far as TNX and IWM, it's just a trade I'm not going to look at moving forward, especially with TLT. I mentioned this again a few weeks ago, but this is on Twitter. This is a time of the year where a lot of correlations just go down the hole. For example, you have TLT dropping and IWM dropping with yields that were also dropping. At one point, it just didn't make sense at all. So it's a whole different game, but it's just one that I mistimed, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Great analysis there. And yeah, look, I mean, admitting some of the trades have gone the other way against you is part of the game, right? We all have those plays go one way or the other. What about quantum? I mean, I don't think you and I have ever really even talked about some of these quantum plays. We had some crazy moves. I don't know if there's anything that you're liking, but if you come over here to my chart, this QBTS, what a wild mover this has been. D-Wave, huge move to the upside. A lot of these plays will be a little light on the share float and higher share outstanding as far as the short float. So 15% short float on this name. Again, not too many shares. Market cap only $1.74 billion. That's QBTS. Other names, IONQ in the space as well. That one seems to want to hold up a little bit higher. A name that I've been getting some interest in, looking at it, is Rigetti. That name's been going upside. And then, of course, QTUM. This might be something that I more find my way into. This is the Quantum ETF. Nice little pullback here. Look, Andrew, we could talk about short-term plays. I think Quantum's a good longer-term story. I do understand it's a little bit heated up. Any strategies or any thoughts here in names in quantum computing?
Yeah, sure. So one ticker that I've actually had success trading recently from an options perspective was QUBT, another quantum name. So QUBT, this was one. As far as moving forward, I think you're going to have to be really careful with this. Of course, equity traders will be a lot more comfortable in these names with the IV, of course, being so high. It's just not worth from an options perspective. But definitely with equity, you're going to want to look at these. Again, these names kind of fit the bill of the short squeeze names, these type of names that we're going to be watching into the end of the year. Like I said, I don't think that there's going to be a Santa Claus rally that is seen sector-wide across SPY, QQQ, everything like that. I think it's going to come selectively within a few pockets of the markets as money managers start to reposition for quad witching. And it's going to come into a lot of these IWM names. So just look at the holdings of IWM. Look at these newer IPOs as well, the QUBT, all these names that are coming into that, of course, everyone's IPOing, all these quantum stocks starting to move, things like that. You can look at robotic companies as well. Those are starting to get picked up on the bid as well. So there's a ton of things that you can look at. I'm going to do a lot of scanning, but again, I can't stress this enough. Guys, scan this weekend. Look at who outperformed from the drop of, when did we drop? Thursday or Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday. So when we dropped Wednesday, look at who outperformed from Wednesday to this day, exclusively those days, or from the 6th. You can take those 2 windows of time. Whoever is outperforming, you're going to want to look for a long next week or into the 3rd. So that's going to be the idea, is that because those names are holding so well, that when money managers are now repositioning, they're going to go reposition into the winners, not the losers, and that's what's going to give them a bigger bid. So be watching those names.
Andrew, wise beyond your years. We've had Michael Noss on earlier today as well, talking about the same thing. Look for relative performance against the market and look for those names. So 100% great talk, great trading there. Look at some of the ARC names like ARC-KQ. That's going to be a robotics ETF.
Yep.
So some of those names, I think you can get a lot of juice to the upside there. And they do have a money manager there that likes to buy some of these names on dips as well. So she may be adding some juice to it. All right, look, happy holidays to you and yours. It was really a pleasure meeting you this year. We hope to have some more communications like that heading into the next year and get you on here as much as possible. What can people look forward to from you in the new year? Anything you're working on? I know you have your Raider report.
Yeah, absolutely. Just working on that. Of course, we will have to plan sometime this year again, another Toronto visit. That's on the schedule. But we will make it work. We'll do another fun time of the year, something
great.
corny, something funny.
Yeah, well, come in the summer.
That, guys.
Come in the summer. Come in the summer. It's gorgeous in the summertime. We'll see if we
I'll bring my swim trunks and my
exactly. I mean, you could go do laps at lunchtime. We'll go do some laps. We'll figure it out, and then we'll go swim in Lake Ontario. But I wouldn't do that. Okay. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much for coming by again. Happy holidays to you and your family as well, for sure. And thank you for coming on. It's Andrew Raider.
Yep. See you guys. Bye.
Ciao.
Thank you.
I mean, look, you can. There are parts of Lake Ontario you can swim in.
Yes.
There are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've done that. And I've have
you
lived
survived.
tail. Yeah, there's no fifth.
Right. Well, you do have a 6th finger there. I know.
Yeah, I was going to say 11th toe. No, I'm joking.
No. Maybe don't eat the fish. But yeah, no, so far so good here today. What a great close. What a great show. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on again, as always. I mean, this guy is a fantastic guest. And, we had Michael Noss talking about the same sort of thing. Try to look for names that have been relatively strong or weak and then position against that off of the drop from Wednesday. So again, a pretty dramatic move in the markets. But I always think never fear. Do your research, be a risk manager, right? Risk manager. That's the number one thing you can be here as a trader. Find the opportunities, plan your position. If it goes awry, get out and rework your same idea on something else or tweak it a little bit. You never know. Not everything's going to be absolutely perfect. Plans this weekend?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm going to do probably some writing. What about you?
Tonight, so we're my son is actually going to my parents' house.
Yeah.
His grandma. Yeah, they're gonna have a sleepover, and then we go a little up north tomorrow for a couple hockey games.
Okay, cool.
So we're doing that, and then Sunday, maybe some last-minute shopping, a few things to buy.
I have to do that too. Yeah.
Shame, she says. not too much to buy. We're almost. Are you? What is your shopping like? You
comment.
going back home or?
No, I'm not going back home. I'm
do you
probably going to
send?
mail some stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but we can't mail anything till after Canada Post strike.
No,
so
it's
is it over now? Okay, never mind. I have to really get on that.
over last week.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
But yeah,
now your
shopping.
excuse is gone. All right, well, at least now if your family's watching, you thought the strike was still on.
Yeah, I did.
So
I did.
Yeah, there are other shipping companies. Okay, anyways, guys, thank you so much for staying late with us. We talk about that all the time. Adara and myself, we'll all be back on Monday. That's Trader TV Adara, also running the Trader TV research page. I think that's an awesome thing to look at as well.
Check it out,
check
guys.
that out. At Trader TV Ramin, new account going up next week.
I feel like that would be her and Trenda, like
That would be
pranking
great,
Sharif.
no?
I would love that. I feel like a lot of people would
Trying
love
to
that.
create some content over here. They're too busy. These people are way too busy. All right. Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks, Ramin, for staying late. Thanks, Fabian, and everything. Brendan, Neil. Great to see Luca again. Came on the show. That was absolutely fantastic. My bad. All right, those of you that are still here, we almost missed that one. Thank you, Ramin. Must not have a date tonight because she's like, hey, you guys forgot roll call. Normally, by this time, we are out of here. Yeah, exactly. We're still early. It's only 4:30. All right, what's up to Sam? He's here. What's up to Ronaldo? Thank you for staying late with us as we continue to talk. Bob Curran is here. Mike Breeze is here. John Von Sowers. Richard is in the building as well. As I have it on my, there it is. Yeah, thank you, Ramin. As well, PC Vancouver Isle. Hey, what's it like in Vancouver right now? Generally warmer.
Generally warmer,
Well,
rainier.
pretty much always warmer.
And then rainier.
And then
Is the other thing I've heard.
rainier,
Yeah.
potentially more beautiful. So shout out to everybody over there on the West Coast. This is the best coast, except for in hip hop. I prefer East Coast.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Same. East Coast is the
You
best
like
to rap.
Kendrick though.
Yeah, Kendrick is my one West Coast exception. I like East Coast and lately Deep South.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, I know it's been a weird thing. I've gotten really into Florida rap. Who knew?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The date is back on. Date is back
Now
on.
it's done. Okay, yeah, okay,
right
cool.
now. Okay, anybody you're seeing?
Yeah, I'm seeing Joseph Birch Music, Eclectic Passions, Bob Curran, Socialist Space Pirate, what a name. Also Barn, but really quickly, we had a couple super chats. I just want to thank Guillermo
my God,
Sanchez
yeah,
for the $5 super chat, saying I guess he did this just for having brought Luca to the show, so he was happy to see Luca. Shout out to you, Guillermo Sanchez. We also had Allah23 with a $1.99 super chat, and Easy Peasy with a $2 super chat saying thanks, Sean, for PLTR. So great day there. We'll see you all next week. Hopefully another exciting week for trading.
All right. Hey, if you're gonna have a vegetable, you know, you get double shot.
Double shot.
If you're gonna have a vegetable, it might as well be a
Potato. French fries.
All right. See you, everybody. We'll see you Monday. Ciao.
See you guys.